What's up, everyone? It's Chicks in the Office with Rhea and Fran, giving you that Friday energy on a Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. We are back. We missed you guys. It's been a little bit since we've talked, and we have a lot to catch up on. We're going to be talking all things Love Island. We have some other news we want to talk about in the pop culture world, what celebrities have been up to the past week. But first, we're going to do a little
time for them too.
Yeah, they're on vacation. We're going to do a little catch up ourselves. If you're not interested, you can fast forward. But what's going on with you guys? How are we feeling?
Great. I feel like I've been gone for a month, and it has been a week. I was looking at my apartment, and I had put like a couple things in the corner to things I had ordered for the trip that I didn't bring, or was like, oh, I'll return this. And in my head, when I saw it this morning, I was like, oh man, I can't even return this stuff. Like, it's got to be past the, that's how long it feels like I've been away. Then I was like, what? I've had it. It's been 10 days. Like, I can certainly return it. But no, it was such a nice week off. We both kind of got home around the same time from our travels. But I was in Bellagio with my parents and my siblings for 4 nights. And then Joe and I went to Sardinia. And it was, oh my God, it was stunning. Gorgeous place. Gorgeous place.
Looked it.
Food was amazing. Swimming, the ocean. It was some of the most beautiful water, scenery, history. It's crazy. So that was an amazing part of the trip. Went to like the coolest club I've ever seen in my life. Like just a nightclub built into the side cliff.
Ooh,
and
that
there's
awesome.
There's so many fucking rich people in Sardinia.
Oh, yeah.
In Sardinia, especially the area we were in. It was fascinating to watch because Porto Cervo is like, it felt like literally built for just, and it kind of has like people come in on these mega yachts. And Joe and I were shocked as we were walking around the little harbor, like the little marina, and it was like, oh no, it was just a beautiful like outdoor Italian mall, basically. It was like called like the Promenade, and it was just all these amazing stores, and you walk along the side of the marina, and it was just yacht after yacht.
Wow.
My jaw was on the floor. I could not believe some of these boats that people have.
Yeah, they look like cruise ships.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy, and it's crazy that you're really just like a spectacle. Like if you're one of those people, you're a multi-millionaire billionaire. You're on these boats, and people tourists just walk up and down staring at you, staring at your boat. It was me.
Right.
I'm like, I was like, oh my God, it was crazy. But really such a beautiful place. But the club was so cool because you go and then it's like right on the water, so you also see the people coming from their boats. They have like little dinghy, they're bringing the people from their yachts onto the
they're getting
into
dropped
the club
off.
And everything was like, it was like the Mercedes, everything was sponsored. It was like it was really, really cool. And they put like the lights on the side of the rocks. And everyone was just dancing, having a good time. All the tables, like they weren't tables, they were like, because you can go during the day too, so they were like day beds, but they literally just like were like fuzzy air mattresses kind of. So everyone's standing and dancing and having a fun time, and great music, DJs. They have some like pretty legit DJs that go and perform there too, which is really cool. We just saw it, like their resident DJ, he was great, but there was somebody there Saturday night, and then Joe and I were so sad because we're looking at the schedule. It was like, oh, next Saturday is Kung's. You know the song. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, he's that guy.
Yeah.
Although Kung's, I'm not sure if it's one person, two people, could be a load, could be multiple, could be a group. I don't know.
You never know.
I'm unsure. But really cool. Just an amazing weather. Just it was honestly very hot, but it was great to just like float in the ocean. You don't even get into that sea and it's just so salty, and you just float.
You could just float right up.
You just float right up.
Like you're in a salt tank.
Right up. Yeah. So no, I had an absolute blast. So much fun. Great time to just like relax and chill. And that was really it.
What was the best food you had?
Oh boy. Honestly, probably the spot in. There's just so many amazing restaurants in Bellagio, and our friends have now opened a new spot at Hotel du Lac, which is called Joya, and
Joya Mia.
yeah, it's like beautiful, small menu, and they literally just opened. But so good. I had this like, you're gonna be like, this is so, I had this ravioli.
Ooh,
it was a lake fish ravioli. So the inside was a lake fish, but then it was also in this like dill and fennel broth of sorts, where it was kind of like a pickle ravioli, which I know objectively to a lot of people you're gonna be like, yuck.
No way.
But
as a pickle lover,
oh my god, it was so good. And they also did their own take on like a regular steak frites, and it was maybe one of the best pieces of meats I've ever had. Best like the béarnaise sauce. Oh
God, I'm hungry.
Oh my god,
Monday morning, I'm
seriously,
starving.
I'm getting hungry thinking about it again. And then of course there's this beautiful restaurant. It's called Dispensa 63. They have a lovely menu. It's always changing. Their restaurant's so cool, but they do these little excursions where they, maybe it's a picnic or a brunch or whatever, and the chef, they take you to a little place. This is their new thing. They took us to this beautiful little greenhouse, and it was a mix of people. It's like 15 people max. So it was like my family and then a bunch of other people, and it was really cool. That was like a really cool experience because you also just get to meet other people.
Yeah,
like there was a couple from Seattle. There were two couples from New York, and then there was a girl who was visiting with her friend and her parents, and she lived in San Francisco, but her family was Chinese and they were visiting from China, and her parents were sitting with us. Everyone was so lovely. They were like, and it was just food is just such a crosses all.
It brings everybody together.
Yeah, it really does. Because even there's obviously a language barrier. Like her parents only spoke Chinese. Like there's no English, Italian. It was like everyone, but through just the food, everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is just amazing."
That sounds amazing.
We all took a picture together. Yeah, it was
fun.
really fun. And oh my god, it was the food that he made for that was just out of this world insane. So good. And then we had some amazing fresh fish in Sardinia. It was probably like the highlight. There's a lot of really cool like Japanese fusion restaurants around there too, which is you all that fresh fish is amazing. Right. So it was very, very delicious. Ate a lot of amazing food, amazing pizza, pasta,
yum,
the whole shebang.
Sounds incredible.
Yeah.
What a lovely trip.
It was delightful.
That's amazing.
One of the chefs actually at Joya, I believe it's for some time, he was at the Connaught. Is that the name of the hotel? Connaught?
Yes. The Connaught in London.
Yes. Mm-hmm. He has it in his bio that he was a chef there too. He was been a chef at some amazing places. Yeah. But I saw that and was like, oh, that made me think
what a crossover.
You. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we
started in London.
Started in London. I saw Molly May. I mean, guys, I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Yeah.
Because I had said when we landed in London, I turned to Matt and I was like, we were in our like taxi going from the airport to our hotel. And I was like, I feel like we're going to see a celebrity. I don't even know why. I never say that because I feel like we do for work, but like in the wild, like I don't you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, I feel like we're going to see a celebrity in London. Like, I don't know, maybe Harry Styles, maybe Glenn Powell, because he's been, people been spotted in London. Maybe we'll see somebody. And he was like, oh, I like that energy. Like, where's this coming from? I was like, I don't know. I just feel it in the air.
Yeah.
And it had been a couple days, but my friend and her husband also came, and she noticed another influencer walking around that I didn't know. And I was like, oh my God, maybe we'll see Molly May. Like, totally as a joke. I was just like, maybe we'll see Molly May. we weren't together when we saw Molly May because we had we separated for a little bit part of the day, and this was like the second to last day. I was like, oh, you know what? I want to go to Selfridges. Is that how you pronounce Selfridges? Which is like, it's not Harrods, but it's like the other department store.
I don't know that.
Well, they have the original Jellycat location. Mm-hmm. I do not have a Jellycat. Okay, so I was texting you and Gia, and I was like, I do not have a Jellycat, but I'm gonna go to this location in London because it seems like the mecca of Jellycats.
Right. Crazy.
Oh my God. It was a madhouse. I couldn't get my dirty little fingers on a Jellycat if I tried.
Oh,
they were all gone. I was going to get you the oyster, but it's actually a mussel.
You could just say whatever, you know?
Yeah, it could have been whatever. So, and then everything was sold out. Sardines I was going to get for Gia, they were sold out of that. I was so excited. There was a ravioli gone. My God, it was madness. But
did you see a lot of Labubus?
Fake ones, Lafufus. I also sent those to Gia on the streets in the markets. I was like, can you tell me if this is real or not? Because there was a McDonald's one, and she was like, that's definitely fake. And I was like, okay, Lafufu alert.
Yeah.
Whatever. There was a lot of Labubus on bags.
Yes, I saw so many people
everywhere, and I like wanted to rip them off, but whatever. Besides the point.
No, there was this beautiful vintage shop in Porto Cervo with like the most expensive shit. Like it was just like Birkins lining the wall, and then they just had all this Labubu stuff. Yeah. Like, and these Labubus were on the shelves decked out in designer outfits.
I just can't get on board with the Labubu.
Like,
I can't.
There was one giant Labubu.
Yeah.
But it was so funny because it was another thing that everybody around me, it was like no matter where, like everyone was like, look, Labubus. Everybody
had one on their bags, whatever. But I tried to get Jellycat. There was none.
No,
it was madhouse. Couldn't get Jellycats. So then we continued to walk around, and there's a Zara right over there. And in my opinion, it's not the best of the Zaras I've seen in London. So we went in, and I see this dress. I'm like, oh, gotta have it. $40 in Zara. Gotta have it. It's like a pretty little dress. I'm walking to go pay. I look to my right. Molly May.
Unreal.
Sitting on the floor. In a very, I can't even describe it.
Yeah.
She was sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
I don't know, like in this little, like.
She just needed a break.
She was just sitting on the floor, like listening to something on her phone, it looked like.
Yeah.
But she looked at me, and then I looked at her.
Yeah.
But in my head, she was probably like, this girl definitely knows who I am.
No, for sure.
But I didn't notice until she was, because you know when you could like feel somebody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I turned, and then that's when I saw her, and then we locked eyes, and then I turned right really quickly, and I was like, oh my God, it's Molly May. You know, like I was like, oh my God, it's Molly May. Cool. It's Molly May. Matt was like, go say something. And I was like, no, I don't want to bother her. Nobody's bothering her. She's sitting on the floor of this store, and nobody's saying anything to her. I'm not going to bother her. And so, I chickened out, and I didn't say anything to her.
I would have bothered her so fast.
She was like listening to something on her phone.
Yeah.
So I feel like she was like pretending, or she might have been actually doing something, or she was pretending so no one would bother her.
Right.
But I was gonna like maybe say something to her, or just let her know that like not bother her, but just let her know like I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
But I chickened out. I got scared.
You have the immediate advantage of being like, I'm from New York. We love you there.
I know.
But like you're unique. You're not like every other person going up to her in London.
And I chickened out. I actually was wearing this exact shirt I'm wearing right now.
You haven't washed it.
It's funny. I don't know why. I just remembered that I was wearing this shirt. And so that was really exciting. And I was like, oh my God, London trip complete. Like saw Molly May. It was really funny. We had went to the Connaught for a drink, and we were leaving, and we were going to grab a taxi to go to another bar. And the doorman was like, no, you're going to want to walk. Like there's a concert happening at Hyde Park. And he was like, you're never going to get there. It'll take hours. And I was like, oh, who is it? And he was like, some famous American country singer. And I was like, well, who? And I started guessing, and it was Zach Bryan. And I laughed so hard. I was like, what? And then I looked at the street. All of a sudden, I looked out of the streets, mobbed with people in cowboy boots and hats and everything. I was like, I did not know that this was happening right now. So that was funny. But
cowboy boots are really in right now. I saw like all the younger Italians that were at the nightclub, like the 16, 17-year-olds, from what I would guess is just all in like mini shorts and cowboy boots. Yeah, and I was like, wow,
they're in.
Yeah. Like imagine like a beach nightclub. You're like, let me put on my cowboy boots.
Interesting.
You know?
Interesting move.
Yeah. But that's the trend over there.
It is.
Yeah.
But London was so hot.
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 Heat wave over there.
Nope. It was like over 90 degrees and beaming sun, and everybody, I think the people of London were upset because they were like, we can't handle this. We're not equipped.
We're not. They're
for
not
this weather.
They're not.
Like we don't usually have. And even my friend who had never been to London, she was like, what's going on? Like we had to take some breaks from walking around because we were like, whoo, it is hot.
And there's no, I mean, it's like there's no breaks. It's not like, hey, let's go hit the pool. Like, you know?
Apparently there's ponds that people go swimming.
Oh yeah.
We didn't do that though. And
I can't.
Well, I knew that I was going to France right after, so I was okay with like the city.
But I can't even picture you swimming in a pond.
No, I can't either. So but then we went to the south of France, which mind blowing. Oh my God, seriously, like wow, it was insane. We stayed in Saint Raphael, which is like in the middle of Saint Tropez and Cannes.
Yeah.
So we chose that location because it's like 45 minutes to an hour to Saint Tropez and then 45 minutes to an hour to Cannes. So we could go to both.
Right.
Whereas if you stay in Saint Tropez, it's so far from everything else.
Yeah.
And then if you stay in Cannes or Nice, it's so far from Saint Tropez. So like you're not, you know what I mean? You wouldn't be able to see it all. But where we stayed, we were able to go to both locations. And my goodness gracious, first of all, the hotel was just genuinely insane, like location. Like this pool was like the seawater, and the ocean was so gorgeous, just swimming all day long. But Cannes, I think was like, it's right now my favorite place I've ever been to.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to say because we just went on my honeymoon, and I always like Switzerland and Spain. Everything's so close. They're all like so close with each other. And the rankings are so confused in my head right now because I'm like, well, this place has this and this place has that, whatever. But absolutely incredible. And I think I went to maybe my favorite restaurant ever. Just insane meat and cheeses. Like just, it was like a classic, like old school type of restaurant. No frills.
I love French food.
Like no frills situation. Because we went, the hotel we were staying at, there's a Michelin star restaurant in the hotel.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, well, we have to do it one time. You know, we have to try this out. And you get to choose between, 3, 6, 8 courses.
Yeah.
But the 6 and 3 didn't have any meat, and the 8 had meat. So we were like, okay, we'll do the 8 because we all want meat. Like we don't want just fish. Oh my goodness gracious! We started this meal at 8 p.m. We didn't leave until 1 a.m. And that's not an exaggeration. All of us were like, so we were with Matt's parents. We were like, we can't keep going like this. I don't think, Michelin star restaurants, props to them, the courses, they do what they do. They got really like insane technique, the way that their brains work and putting this food together and all the unusual, whatever they do.
Yeah.
Props to them.
Congrats, you have a star.
Congrats, you have a star. Great job. You deserve it. Well deserved. I'm not sure I'm cut out for the frills. Okay, I like an old school restaurant where you're just giving me a starter, an entree, dessert. Boom, bada bing, amazing food. That's my cup of tea. Holy fuck! I mean, the food was obviously amazing.
Yeah,
but you're not like, I want to eat that every day of my life. You know what I mean?
No.
It's so different.
It's a culinary experience.
It's a culinary experience, and you don't want to have it every day.
No.
By the 5th course, you're like, get me out of here.
Yeah,
because it's not 8 courses. It's actually 18 courses because they throw in courses out of nowhere, and they're like, and literally our mind was like, what number course is this? And they were like, well, it's 6, but it's actually 10. And we're like,
right.
What? Like, we can't do anymore. We can't. Like, that TikTok was like, you have to keep going, Harry. Like, that's what it felt like. We were like all looking at each other just like this. We were like, I don't know what we could do. Matt's mom was pacing when we left. Me and Matt went to our room and we grabbed like this thing of nuts and digestive that was in our room, and we knocked on their door and we were like, you forgot your last course. And they literally, Matt's mom was pacing around her room. She was like, I can't breathe. Like,
oh my God.
It was so much. And then
and you have to eat it.
You have to eat it all.
Yeah.
And
because that shit ain't cheap too.
No, but
like,
my favorite,
you gotta enjoy
you gotta really
restaurant.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it really was enjoyable, but we had a full boat day before that, which was insane, gorgeous, beautiful. We went to Saint Tropez, had lunch there. We were swimming in all the oceans, little coves, things like that. And so it was and then we ate at this restaurant. It just was like, wow, it just keeps coming. It
Yeah.
just keeps coming. The cheeses were so good. That was my favorite part of the meal, though, that they do cheese after your entree, and then they do your entree, then cheese, and then dessert. And it's like, wow, that's my dream. The cheese and the jam and the honey, all of it was just like, oh, it was unbelievable. But it was funny because the waiter was like, digestive, and Matt's dad was like, yes, no, but like, I don't think he understood, and we were like, no, why did you say we don't want it? And then it added like a whole other 40 minutes. We were like, oh my God. And it was, those things are hard to drink. Certain digestives they don't go down easy.
No.
Wow, they don't. That was
Joe and my brother drink like freaking, I mean, like the Sambuca and like all that's it wasn't even Sambuca. I'm all right with grappa.
It was some.
It's like some dark liquor.
Yeah,
I had a Montenegro that I actually thought was delightful. That was that I could drink. But yeah, no, you get that digestivo. I like a nice dessert wine. Like it's like a little bit of a heartier dessert.
Of course. No, this was like drinking straight alcohol.
No,
like
it's
burning.
gasoline.
Yeah, like
tastes like actual gasoline.
Yeah, it was that one. That one was tough.
Yeah,
but it was obviously an incredible experience. I just think I have to come to terms with like, I'm not a culinary expert, and maybe those restaurants aren't necessarily for me.
Yeah.
So we had reservations for
5 hours is insane.
No, it was.
I will say we that's crazy.
Yeah,
it's
a lot.
That's a long time.
We had reservations at Hotel Ducat, where Sophia Richie like rented out the whole place, got married.
Yeah.
Very popular location right now. I think I've seen every single influencer post a picture in that long rocky driveway, whatever. So we had reservations for that Saturday night, but in Cannes we went Friday night. And we had so much fun. We ate at this restaurant and we walked around the old town, and it was gorgeous, and all these little shops. And I brought local lavender honey and jam, and oh my God, it was incredible. And all these amazing cute shops. And that restaurant, like I said, was there. I had these amazing ribs, steak, this like warm, creamy cheese, and escargot for the first time. It was delicious. It was so cool and like old school. I loved it. And then we went to they do pyrotechnic festival every Friday in Cannes for the summer.
Yeah. Like a fireworks
show. Insane fireworks show on the water they do on the Fridays in the summer. So we went on Friday, we rented these, you can rent day beds, or they're night beds at night, and watch the fireworks from there with drinks, cocktails, and then the restaurant turns into a club after. So like we had a 25-minute fireworks show. All of a sudden, boom, they come around with sparklers, and music starts playing, turns into a club. No, it's like not even music. It was like all like Miley Cyrus and ABBA, and like it was just so much fun. It was so cool. So we had such a great night in Cannes on Friday, and we went back to our hotel, and then Saturday came around, and I was like, guys, does everybody want to go do this culinary experience again? Saturday night where we sit somewhere for 6 hours and we're locked in our chairs, or do we want to go to a fun local spot and just like enjoy our time? And everyone was in agreement. They were like, let's just go to the local spot. I'm sure the food's even better. And it was. The food was just, I had this lemon ravioli situation, lamb. We had a tomahawk steak, just really, really good stuff. Just unbelievable. So the local spots, you know what I mean? Like their food is, they know where it's at. Their food is better. Like than the fancy. They're
just completely different. They're just completely different experienes.
You should try it out. Do the experience. But It's the other spots are better.
No, it's just they're completely, you're signing up for completely different meals, different portions, different tastes, different foods, different experience, different the whole thing,
Yeah.
But
God, some of the cheeses and meats and wine. Woo.
Yeah.
Ugh. I was in a happy place. Wow.
Yeah, the wine's so fucking good.
I couldn't have enough wine and cheese. Oh my God. The wine was just unbelievable.
I know, it's insane. It's so good. Joe was like, you're really keeping up this week. Because I just don't like drink that much at home, but But like at night, like it's like go here for a nightcap. Let's go for one more. I just don't like. I'll have 2 glasses of wine at dinner in the city and have a pounding headache that lasts for a full day. And I could drink like 4 bottles of wine in Italy and be up at 9 a.m. and be like, all right, where to?
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally had the same situation. Because you know me.
No.
I'm also like
absolute no issue at all. I'm mixing, I'm drinking different things, and I'm totally fine.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happens or why that happens, but it's really actually just quite rude that it's just like, and then you get home and then I'm like, oh,
right,
1 glass of wine, I feel like shit.
Yeah, right. I'm usually 1 sip Tony, but it was just it was flowing. It was delicious, beautiful. We really had such an amazing time. Super relaxing. I fell asleep outside by the pool for the first time in my life. I've never done that before.
Really?
Like I can't fall asleep. I've gotten like really relaxed, but I can't fall asleep like outside.
Yeah,
by a pool or beach. Totally fell asleep, and I woke up like an hour later and was like, what the hell? I was like, where am I? Like, I was like, what the, when you wake up from a nap really confused? Double that. It was just so relaxing. We went on a paddle board in the middle of the ocean. I just laid there while Matt paddled. And I was like, I'm just gonna
soaking it all in.
This in. No, it was really fun, but it was also really cool that we got to do it with my in-laws, and it was just such an amazing experience. Like they were like, this is so cool that we get to do this together. Like a lot of sentimental moments where we were like, this is just really awesome. We'll always remember this trip. So that was really, really cool. I was gonna say something else and I'm forgetting. I think it might have been about Molly May, but I'm blanking.
Back to Molly May.
Because that was like, I was like, wow. No, I ordered my first old fashioned like myself.
Really? What made you do that?
I really am starting to enjoy them. So, like...
Interesting.
Yeah, I actually really
that's
enjoy
like Marty's go-to.
It is his go-to drink. So, every time he gets one, I love to sniff it and I love to take a sip. And I do that every time.
Yeah.
And now, I've been doing it so much that I've been like, why don't I just get my own? Because I actually really like...
enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it. So, I ordered my first one at the hotel in London.
I'm sure
and
they
it
had
was... Wow, it was just really nice to sip on. It was a really good sipper.
A good old fashioned is really good. A bad one,
it's hard.
Yeah.
No, this one was really nice. So I don't know. Maybe you'll catch me drinking an old fashioned with you soon. I don't know. Just saying.
Chap.
Yeah, just saying. Yeah. Noah, you crossed some things off your list.
I did,
and we saw those collab posts. How was it? Look at Maddie looking over.
I'm shocked the last one didn't make it. I kept checking.
No, it did.
Oh, it did?
No, don't worry.
Oh.
He did collab.
Oh, I didn't. The horseback riding one. The horseback riding one.
I didn't see you horseback riding.
The horseback riding one, I thought, Noah just posted this one himself. But Maddie must not have accepted the invite.
No, I accepted it myself. That one.
Maddie confirmed that he did them all himself.
Noah collabed with himself. Wait, no, I didn't see. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went full horseback riding. Wow,
Some people might argue that.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. There's the collab.
You gonna collab on everyone?
I mean, I was planning to.
It's getting a lot of traction. I'm not gonna lie. The first time I saw it, I was like, "That's bold," but then
I plan to do it just because I'm like, no one's gonna see it if I just.
No, it's so true though. But now, like. You have to keep it. It's an amazing.
What logic? Yeah.
No, he's getting his followers up. That's really what it is. But
that's not even it. But
no, it's true though. People need
I'd love to know how
talk about on the podcast.
Your numbers
I feel like
have gone
more.
up.
Have you gained followers?
It's gone up a little bit.
Yeah,
nice. No, but I will say it has great engagement and people do want to see.
Of course.
So it does make sense. But how was it? How were crossing things off your list? Tell us a little bit about it.
It was good. I mean, I went into the week knowing that I wanted to knock the bike ride out because that one, I have to be on the Cape for, and this is kind of the only week I'd probably be able to do that. How
about your mom getting some shine? I knew she would. I knew as soon as you posted
that
your
every
mother
comment was about my mom.
I knew
she deserves it.
She deserves it. I knew as soon as you posted your mom that girls were going to be like, "Holy shit, Noah's mom's a smoke."
Yep.
And they're right. They are correct.
It was a lot of that. So yeah, we did the bike ride, and honestly, it wasn't as 45 miles. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
You feeling fit?
I feel good. I mean, I ride a exercise bike every day mostly. So
humble brag.
But we rented good bikes and rode down the Cape, stopped for a lobster roll. It was kind of easy for the first 75% of it, where it's like all bike trail, and then the bike trail ended, and we were very confused because we thought it just went, and then we had to like ride on like the real road, like, which was, it was fine, but a lot of hills at the end. We were both very tired at the end, but I mean, shout out to my mom for doing that, because
your mom is a
Impressive.
fit woman.
Yeah, exactly. She looks amazing. Did you have an aunt or someone that was also maybe someone who wanted to be included who wasn't included?
Oh,
there's there was one comment because I'm looking again that made me laugh.
Yeah, Mandy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not mad about not being involved in any of the 30th festivities.
Yeah.
So
maybe I'll find a way to get her involved.
But no, your mom. Everyone wants to say singing your mom's praises, and as they absolutely should. Did she help you make the meal? Or?
She did.
Yeah.
So I was like, we had.
So this is like also this is also a Jen's 30 things before Noah turns 30.
Yeah, we had other people there too who were assisting, but I was just like, I need to touch everything. You guys just like hover around me and just tell me when I'm doing something wrong. Yeah. That was fun though, like the cooking.
Yeah.
How was it though? How did it
looked
taste?
delicious.
It tasted really good. Like the swordfish was really good, and then now I'm kind of like potatoes, very easy to make. Yeah. Asparagus, pretty easy.
Yeah, right.
The key lime pie was like really good too, which is also like pretty easy to make.
Love it.
But yeah, I was trying to be on theme with the swordfish, Cape Cod. And yeah, we recreated a family photo.
Yeah, that was really cute.
That was cute.
Really, really cute.
And then the horse riding. I was like, you know what? There has to be like a place to ride horses on the Cape, and it was actually pretty hard to find. But I found this place, and it was just like a family-run type place. Like the girls who were like doing it with us were 18 and 14. Like they're the ones who were running it.
Wow.
And but yeah, it was really cool. And people are trying to say that Gia commented like, "Oh, that's a pony, not a horse," like because mine was like extra short.
Yeah.
They said no, it's not a pony.
No,
it's a horse, and it's just short.
Yeah, he's just a little
small
guy.
They did it by our height because like the other guys I was with were taller than me. So
Who was riding Moose? I liked Moose.
Is Moose
Who'd you go with?
Big one? That's my brother, his friend, and my brother's girlfriend were there with us.
Amazing. Moose was the biggest one, I think, from looking at this picture.
I know.
He is very handsome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
I can see from looking at his little halter with his name on it.
But yeah, it was a nice
amazing.
And got 4 off.
How'd you rate riding a horse? Were you uncomfortable? Were you nervous?
No. I mean, also it's like we weren't like racing. Like it was.
No,
it was like a walk.
You were on a trail ride.
Yeah. It was nice. I mean, just a little stroll through the woods. And, yeah, like it was pretty easy.
Good.
At no point was I worried.
Yeah, I mean, some people's riding horses is very scary for them. So it's
I think you'd be fine. Like at least in that.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous too, but I would do it, but I'm nervous.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about your list so far?
I mean, it was good to check off anything because it literally was like a full month had gone by and I didn't do one single thing. But now, it's just like when you're in the city, I feel like it's harder to have things.
No,
so
but
like,
I feel like there's a lot on that list.
You could also make your top 30 films list. Those you can knock off
like exactly
at any point.
Those are like actually the hardest thing on the list for me. Like I've been trying to start making those lists and I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Like if you were trying to make a top 30 song list, it's impossible.
It's hard. Opening night of a big summer blockbuster film.
I have that one scheduled.
What are you going to say?
Should I reveal?
No, don't reveal. Okay. Don't reveal. Keep it for the collab.
I hope it's Fantastic Four. That's what I was hoping it would be when I saw it.
It is.
Shit.
You and Rhea can do your hip hop dance class.
Oh shit, we got to do that.
I know.
Find that there. That's in the city.
Yeah.
Pilates class, easy. Can do that one.
Yeah, there are.
Who's the Teresi plug? Because let's put that reservation on the.
Yeah, can we come?
Let's put that in the books.
Yeah.
I'm dying to go.
Yeah, me, Tommy, and a couple other guys are gonna go.
Okay,
I have to schedule it, but
were we not going to get
What
invited?
about Rhea and Fran? What about you, Tommy, a couple guys, and Rhea and Fran?
I was going to say, after I'm pretty sure we said multiple times we wanted to go to this.
Yeah.
Right? And we still weren't going to get invited?
It's kind of strange, but
I'll put in
whatever.
a good word for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All
I
right.
appreciate it. I'm not going to lie. It hit me like,
Read a book. You can do that.
yeah.
I should have done
The
that
book
this
I
week.
started reading.
This is literally just read a book.
The book I
Read a
started.
famous book.
Yeah.
The book I started reading is about the Ives family.
What?
I
I'm
texted you
I'm
that.
reading it.
Are you reading it too?
Yeah. The Emily Henry book,
Yeah, The
right?
Great Big Beautiful
Yeah,
Life?
I'm reading it
We're
right
reading
now.
at the same
too.
time?
Yeah.
Their
Weird.
name is
We didn't
Ives.
talk about that.
No.
Yeah, it's the Ives family.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yes.
Strange that we're reading at the same time and didn't talk about it.
Yeah,
But,
I'm shocked you didn't tell me that you were trying an Emily Henry book.
It was on, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just on vacation.
I know. I feel like I've said that to you, though, and you haven't read them.
I have tried one that I didn't.
You didn't like.
I didn't like, but
Yeah.
I figured I would give it another one a shot.
Yeah.
Well,
This one's good. It feels like she pulled from like a lot of different, kind of has a little Seven Husbands vibe.
That's what I liked. I liked the premise of it.
Uh-huh.
Like when I read the synopsis, I was like, I think
Yeah.
this one is more, my jam.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah, it's good.
But I was like, oh, the Ives family.
Yeah.
But that reminded me. So I was reading this book. I'm sitting on a float in the pool and I'm reading the book and I'm to see the Ives family and I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta do a hip hop class with Noah. Like I was like, it hit me and I was like, why did I seem so excited to do that? It was just the moment that I was in where I was like, I really don't feel like doing a hip hop class.
right.
with Noah.
Every time I
But
look
now
at the
that we're
list, I'm
back,
kind of like, oh yeah,
that
just
damn hip hop class
stands out.
Yeah, it does.
Well, good. But you got a good amount, I will say.
I think,
for
4
1 week off, getting 4 done is good.
Yeah. So we'll see. I got some lined up in the next couple of weeks.
Ooh, stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned
If
for
you
those
follow-
collab posts.
If you follow,
And don't you
The
worry, if you don't follow
collab.
Noah, you'll see it.
you'll see the collabs. And well, we're going to get into the rest of the episode. I'm sure people really don't give a shit what we're up to. They want to hear about Love Island. So we will get into all of that. We're going to be talking about Love Island. A lot to catch up on. Whoa, Nelly. We got a lot to catch up on with that. Jennette McCurdy's book is turning into a series, TV show with Jennifer Aniston starring. The
Amazing.
book, I'm Glad My Mom Died, written by Jennette McCurdy.
Yeah.
She was on the show talking about that book when it came out. Dancing with the Stars brings along 2 new cast members. Some Mormon wives, which we will talk about when that pops up, but it was mentioned in our interview with today's guest. We also have some Glastonbury and celebrity vacation roundup in general. And then we have Ezra Sosa from Dancing with the Stars on the show to talk all about Dancing with the Stars, which is fitting for the 2 new cast members that joined. So let's get into it. Starting off with Love Island.
They don't make it easy buying concert tickets these days. You got to sign up for the pre-sale, get in the queue, and by the time you get through, the best seats are gone. Going to a concert should be about the show itself, not waiting in a virtual line. Lucky for us, we have Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Game Time makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the app actually go down the closer it gets to showtime. Plus, the Game Time Picks feature makes it even easier to find the great deals on seats you want. Just pull up your chosen event and turn on the GT Picks setting at the top of your screen, or browse the best local Game Time Picks deals near you on your Game Time app homepage. I have been looking at concerts. I've got some shows lined up that I want to go to. I am so excited. There's some great shows coming up in New York. I've had my eye on Gracie Abrams. I think my sister and I are going to go see Olivia Dean in a couple weeks as well. So really excited for that. You can browse it all right on the app. Makes it so easy. So it is time to buy those tickets now with Game Time Picks. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHICKS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHICKS for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game time.
Whoa, we have a lot to talk about. We do.
I was kind of hoping you would hold that for longer.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. That's how it feels.
Right. Exactly.
It feels exactly
It's like
like
you're watching,
that.
you're like, whoa. And now I'm just like, now I'm like,
like it's just like noises.
Noise.
That's what it feels like.
I think everyone is feeling many different emotions with this season. I'm sure that Peacock is as well as the producers that are on site. I can't even imagine the conversations going on behind the scenes when it comes to this season. We missed like a week, but really it feels like so much has changed in that 1 week that we've been away. And thank God for a VPN, because we were locked in. There were certain times I was catching up on certain episodes, especially when I was in Bellagio, and Joe was like, "Are you really gonna watch Love Island right now?" I was like, "I have to."
It was a must.
Like, I have to.
It was a must. The first night, you're not adjusted to the time yet. By the way, I never fucking adjusted to the time zone.
Yeah,
I was
that's
up until 3 a.m. every night. Some nights I watched, or some nights I didn't catch up the next day. I wasn't staying up for Love Island.
No, but there were some initial nights that you were texting the group chat, and I was like, "God, she's up again watching."
I just couldn't. I would put my phone down to try and fall asleep, but my body just had such a hard time adjusting to the time difference.
Yeah.
So then I'd be like, "Well, I'm up. I guess I'll watch."
Right.
Which happened the first night, and that was the Nick and Olandria, like when they sent them on a date.
Yeah.
And Matt was asleep and I was watching, and I was like silently like gasping to myself, like, what the fuck's happening? Da-da-da. And he wakes up, he's like, what happened? I'm like, Nick and Olandria. And he popped up, he's like, what? He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you gotta get a load of this. And then we're both up talking about it.
Yeah.
But my goodness gracious, I want to say, we do know people got sent home, and we said that we would be doing interviews. We did ask to interview, but they were also off for the 4th of July weekend, so we will be doing some this week.
Yeah, and
we skipped the Casa send home one with Vanna, and that one we didn't do interviews for that, but we did ask about a couple of Islanders who the most recent one,
the dumping after the America's Vote.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, it's just, there's a lot to break down for sure. Some new couples, some new pairings, a big vote, everything that's going on with Sierra, Nick and we're back at a Nick and Alandria type situation. I don't even know. And at this point, like, I've seen so many people online saying, "Where's movie night? Where's movie night?" I don't think we're getting movie night.
Movie night's not happening.
Movie night's not happening. Now we're on this is the last week.
The finale's on Sunday.
Yeah, this is the last week. So
who's winning this show?
So they really got to sell us a fucking love story for some of these people. Fast. And movie night's not going to do that.
No.
So I think like the whole mail challenge thing, the mail in, whatever, is really what they use to replace like what could have been a movie night. I don't know if it's like if they all think, oh my God, these Islanders, they're harboring all these feelings towards each other, and maybe they're not saying it on camera because they're afraid to, and producers like, we got to get them to say this shit on camera. So they came up with this challenge, and it just that challenge really changed a lot of people's opinions. It showed a different side for a lot of the contestants that people didn't like, and then obviously that happened right before a vote, so that really came into play with that. But I don't even know.
It's hard to even begin, but I guess we can begin at. Listen, we saw Nick and Olandria. They go on a date, then they decide that they're not going to pursue the connection, because they return, and Nick then closes things off with Sierra,
right? And
Taylor picks Clark, and Olandria has no connection,
right?
So then the mail-in anonymous whatever game this was,
right,
was absolutely diabolical, because movie night, I feel like, is different because maybe they show something from the beginning, and then the Islanders like, oh, well, that's how I felt in the beginning, but I don't feel that way anymore, and I apologize, and then they get through it. And it's like, sometimes movie night, it causes chaos, but then ends up in resolution at the end.
Yeah.
This was just like, we're just gonna have you guys write mean things to each other, and that's gonna be it. Like, imagine sitting down and writing some of this shit that some of them wrote down. Like, I was like,
I know.
I probably would have just wrote something funny on there.
Yeah, right.
But they were like, no, this is our chance. We're going to write our true feelings
And I
in
do
here.
think that there were some funny things, and they showed
They
some of it in
probably-
After
yeah.
Sun, but they just obviously cut those things.
Right.
Like, I think like whatever was written about Nick was just like something, I forget what exactly it was
Yeah.
now, I'm forgetting.
It
But they
felt like
played
the
it during
ones,
After Sun.
you know, with the Jeremiah situation, I can't believe we're even still talking about this. Huda was wrong a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously. Like, we don't even have to talk about that anymore. It was very clear what happened there. Then they're getting mad at her for exploring connection with Chris. But Shelly can't decide between Chris and Ace. But then she's getting mad at Ace for exploring connection. But she's exploring connection. I'm like, how is this... how is this possible that they're getting mad at Huda for exploring connection with Chris because of Shelly, but Shelly's allowed to explore every connection? Like, it just seemed like a double standard, which was quite confusing to watch that happen. But they seemed to resolve that the next day, which I saw Ariana talk about this on After Sun, where she was like, I really wish the viewers would allow people to resolve their arguments in the next episode before they just go fucking ham on like they were going in on Shelly and Olandra because of the Huda situation, but then they resolved it in the next episode and everyone was like, oh, never mind, beep beep beep, take back what so it's like a little bit confusing when people like rush to like be so mad when like Huda and Shelly were okay the next episode. So that was interesting to watch. And then Taylor picks Clark. He stands up there and he's like, well, you guys want me to make a decision? I'm picking Clark.
Yeah.
And
I get it. Like, I get that. I completely understand how frustrating that is for Alandria. I think it would have saved everyone a lot of trouble if Taylor could just fucking fess up and be honest and say, you know what? The connection with her wasn't that strong on my end from the beginning. And we would have been like, yeah, no, we could tell.
Yeah, everyone could tell.
It's like, yeah, that would have, or it maybe would have given some clarity for Alandria, really. And it's just, at the end of the day, though, like watching the show, it's like he was really getting torn apart for that. But the premise of Casa and the things that happen, sometimes you do meet someone, you have a stronger connection, you bring them back and you stick to it. And Taylor and Clark like kind of seem to really like each other. Like, I'm not gonna lie, and I don't think Clark doesn't seem like some evil person. Like, she seems very sweet, and I don't really think it's like Taylor has seemed to really commit to her now in this situation. And like, yes, that sucks for Alandria, but that happens on this show quite often, where it's like, oh, they come in and the person they bring in from Casa is like, no, that's actually the person that is better suited for them.
And Clark didn't deserve the sort of hate she was shown in that challenge where it was like, burst your bubble, and it was about what America had voted on, and she was least in everything. And I was like, like she, this is because of Taylor's doing, and I don't think she deserves to feel like she's hated. I feel like she handled it well.
Yeah, she really
honestly
did.
I think
which was another reason why I think she really has like a good head on her shoulders.
Yeah,
too.
I think she handled it really well. And then we have the Sierra and Nick situation, which everybody's talking about right now.
Wait, can we go back and talk about Ace during the mail end thing for a second?
God.
Because that whole thing to me really, and I had to sleep on it a couple nights. Really, I really did, because I was just like, I have so many mixed feelings about this man, and anytime he can throw out all the criticism in the world, and then it comes back to him, and then he gets like so defensive, and he's coming at Austin, and you're 6'5", I'm 5'10", I get the bigger, like, it's just so crazy to me, everything that he was saying. And then when he was like talking about Jeremiah, and it was like, yeah, that's love bombing, bro. Like, and I was like, whoa. For a second, also, really, and this is what I was sleeping on. If you think about the way he has handled his relationship with Shelly with these like over the top grand gestures that no one else is doing, kind of falls more into the definition of love bombing.
Listen, he's pulling together more dates than production at this point. It's crazy.
No. But I just like, that was so frustrating to see. I did not like the way
it's nice
that
of him
he
to
handled
do, but
that.
It's confusing because I don't understand. Besides the point, though, like, that whole situation confused me because Austin would have made a good point with his letter to Ace, okay?
Right.
Calling him out. But then he had to go and fuck it up by being such a dick to Amaya in that moment.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing worse than when a guy or somebody's like, do you not understand? And they repeat it. It's like, no, she understands. Like, she just has different emotions than you do, which... like that was such a dickhead move to like be yelling at Amaya in that moment, but he would have been correct if it was just the letter about Jeremiah and Ace. Then he would have stood on something, but then it turned into a thing about Maya. I'm like, he couldn't handle Ace yelling at him, so instead of yelling back at Ace, he started yelling at Amaya. Meanwhile, Ace is the kind of guy where it's like, you're right, like what you said, where he could throw out all these criticisms, but once you throw it back at him, his voice just gets louder than everybody else, and he starts being like, I'm a leader. So you don't even want to say anything anymore because you're like, well, why am I even going to say anything to you? You just people like that, they just get away with things because they can yell at everybody else, but once they get yelled at, it's like, scary, you know?
I was like, we're still talking about Amaya calling people babe. Like, come on. Like, that's really, like, let that go.
It's so weird.
That was the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Is like, oh yeah, thank God Brian said something, because it was like, it's not that deep. It's just like,
really not.
It's really not. And Amaya was, you know, that was hard to watch because she handled that. And anytime you see somebody who's like clearly getting criticized for their personality, where it's like, I can't really do, like, what do you want me to do? Say sorry that like this is the way that I am? You're just like, okay, thanks for letting me know, guys.
Right.
Like,
and also just, she's not going to change who she is. She feels these emotions. She's sensitive. She loves hard. Like, that's just who she is. And okay, if you don't vibe with that, fine. But like, don't make her feel like she's a shitty person because of that. It's just bizarre.
No. And Shelly, I'm not quite sure like what she wanted to happen with the whole Chris situation, because it was like, well, like she didn't really try and talk to Chris at all, and I don't know if she just wanted Chris to try and pursue her, and maybe she did not like that like Huda was now in the mix, so she just didn't want to be involved in that at all. But kind of like saying like, oh, I'm still interested in him or whatever, it's like she didn't talk to him at all. So I understand why Chris was kind of like, well, this isn't really a thing anymore, because it's like, but Shelly kind of expected them all to come to her. I was like, no, you do have to kind of put a little bit of effort in yourself here if you want to talk to them. It's not all Chris's fault that he's not talking to you. But Huda and Chris, I don't know. They seem to be a decent enough pair in my mind that they do keep saying it's like, oh, they balance each other out and whatever. And I do see that, and you know, happy for Huda, I guess, in that scenario. She still just absolutely cracks me the fuck up, though, with some of these things. Because sometimes it's like, okay, we're getting reasonable. And then it's like, Shelly got 2 pancakes and I got 1. And her plate had a flower on it and mine didn't. And then it's just like, or it's like, if I was ugly, would this all be better? It's like, what the fuck does that mean?
That was a crazy line. I understood the flower and pancake thing more than I understood. Yeah. You know, because... you know, you give one girl flower and not the other. That does kind of show, maybe you're courting this one a little bit more. You know, especially you're reading things into that island so much that you're going to be like, she got a flower and I didn't. But when it comes to Shelly and Ace, I was getting upset because I'm like, how am I on Ace's side right now? Because they're going back and forth and Shelly's like, am I not understanding? And Ace is like, am I not understanding? And I'm like, no. I don't think Shelly's understanding, because Ace is clearly like, I just want to be with Shelly, and maybe he's just not downright saying those words, but like it's clear. And then Shelly's like getting mad at Ace and exploring.
I feel like Shelly was kind of holding on to her feelings from maybe earlier in the season, because she is right that like earlier in their season, Ace could not shut up. Like, oh, we're open, we're meeting to people, we're open nonstop. So I just kind of feel like Shelly just wanted a little bit of that for herself, to like be able to go back at him and be like, well, we're open, right? Like you said it 9 million times at the beginning of the season. Like we're open. And that's kind of how that went. And obviously now like things are better between them and they're not exploring other connections. But at this point, I mean, yeah, you kind of hope at this point, but I don't know.
There's 1 week left. And now with 1 week left, Sierra was removed from the villa because past post of hers using racist slurs came up, and they removed her from the villa. And then Nick was left single. Yeah. This is where I'm confused at Nick's choices, because I'm not sure if they're told because with Yulissa, I think they were just told like personal reasons. I think Jeremiah said that. And then with this, when Ian announced it, the narrator, he was like, Sierra has left the villa due to a personal situation.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're maybe not told exactly why, and then it's kind of just like, we're removing her for a personal situation. They don't give a reason. So I don't know if Nick can leave or asked to leave or what he's doing. But I feel like
if I had to guess, my theory would be is like, no, they were begging Nick to stay. If that was an option.
Right.
Or if they even gave him the option. But I just feel like at this point they're trying to still put together like a last week of this show, and I think that they were like, we need Nick to stay.
Like, we need you to couple up with Alandria fast.
Yeah.
But I think they must have cut like so much of that day.
Totally.
Because in one of the clips, you see Sierra's getting ready in the makeup room, and then it's that day. So they must have removed her during the day. And then it feels like they cut so much out of that day because people are like, well, we want to see the Islanders' reactions. It's like, they're not going to show us that because I don't think they didn't
well,
address.
the problem is they don't. I
don't think they tell them.
I don't think they tell them the exact reason because it would affect so much of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they try and limit everything from the outside world, that they have no access to anything. And I do think like if it's something where they did pull Yulissa, that they didn't tell them what the reasoning was. And for something like this, I'd imagine it's a very similar thing where they aren't giving the other Islanders like a clear reason because it is something that would cause and should cause a lot of conversation. And I think the Islanders would want to talk about it, and they're not gonna put that into the show because they're writing a different story here on this show. And I just like they yank Sierra and then they're like, that's it. And I don't think they really tell them anything of what's going on.
Like if it was like a family emergency and she had to leave, you're not gonna go couple up with Alandria. Like, I feel like they'd have to give Nick some context. Like maybe not exactly what happened, but like, hey, it's not like
I don't think so.
Because then if you actually like are closed off with this girl and you really like her and they pull her from the show for like personal reasons, you're not just gonna like turn around and then couple up with someone. Like
unless you're
they said like, hey,
unless
you're Nick.
Yeah, like
because I think I think he must have not, like, now I think the conversation goes, okay, Sierra was removed, Nick's still there. We don't know any behind the scenes of what they were told, what they weren't told.
Right.
We assume they weren't told anything because of what happened with Yulissa.
Yeah.
Did Nick even like Sierra that much if he's just moving on to Alandria that quickly, coupling up? They're like, all right, well, let's test this connection back out. Like,
I know. I almost think it's worse too if Nick was told some inkling of why she was leaving and they were closed off and he did really like her and he was like, see ya, good luck.
The whole situation.
Sorry,
like,
I'm gonna stay, but you're gonna leave.
The whole situation with Nick is a confusing one because I think,
and you don't know how much time has passed. Like it's the way it's cut is like, oh, she was like, oh, Sierra's gone. Let me go talk to Alandria.
That's how it seemed. It was like, well, and the way he worded it, he was like, my strongest connection is now gone. What do you mean your strongest connection? You were closed off with this girl.
That's kind of
you
what
guys
makes me
were
think.
banging
They were literally
every night.
talking about like what they were going to be outside the villa. They were like having that conversation.
By the way, he made it known like they weren't going to be closed off outside the villa. Like he was like, and by the way, like we ain't no boyfriend girlfriend.
Right.
You know, like I feel like now I don't know how to feel about the Nick and Alandria situation because it just feels a little bit like forced now.
100%.
It feels like it didn't happen organically. Like. You know,
if Sierra didn't leave, that wasn't going to happen. You know?
But it's like Nick clearly has a thing for Alandria. That is very clear. Does Alandria actually have a thing for Nick?
So.
Like, or is she just because she's still sticking around because Taylor's there and she's hoping Taylor's going to wake up one day and be like, it's always been you, Alandria.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's going to happen at this point. So I'm just like, well, now they're coupling up. And it doesn't feel
just
organic.
The conversation just felt really forced to me. Like all the, is this been in front of me this whole time and I didn't know? Like, is this like, was this meant to be like the two of us? And I don't know if maybe some people are like, oh, they always had these feelings, but out of respect for their friends, they didn't cross those boundaries. But I'm like, no, Sierra did cross. I mean, Sierra, they did cross that boundary. They kissed.
They kissed.
They kissed out of the challenge, and it really did feel like Alandra was like, no, what I didn't. It wasn't there. Like, and I don't. Alandra doesn't seem like a liar to me, to someone that would have looked at Sierra dead in the face and like lied and been like, nah, it wasn't there, you know? And if it really was.
I really feel like Alandra didn't feel it. Like, genuinely watching the show.
Yeah, I did not either. And then, I think Nick is very attracted to Alandra.
I agree. I think so too. He literally said, you're one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen, and then sucked her toes. Yeah. So I think he wants her bad.
But
but I think...
I don't know. It really just feels so... It just feels so forced. And it was like going immediately into a recoupling. So now all of a sudden we're just like, oh, back on this train that, maybe they are meant to be together. It's like, oh, let's talk about how this is what it should have been this whole time. But it was like, it wasn't going to be that without this situation with Sierra happening. And it's just all that's all very fishy to me. And I don't really think like then those intentions are so pure, because then what happens? We all buy into Nick and Alandra that they're really in love. We watch them for like 4 days and we're like, oh my god, it's really there. And then like, well, it feels I don't see anything with them happening outside the like. It's like we're supposed to believe, oh, they'll
it feels like a scripted movie. Like the viewers. Listen, when we were all shipping Nick and Alandra together, it was fun. It was like a dream. And oh my God, they're looking at each other from across the room and we're writing a movie script. But now that this is all happening very, very close to the end, I'm with you. I'm a little bit weary on the genuine. You know, if it's genuine, I'm Team Iris and Pepe at this point.
100%.
Team Iris and Pepe.
I like him. If Brian can continue on this path, I think that would be great for
Iris and Pepe too. Brian and Amaya. Yeah. Huda and Chris. Ace and Shelly. Like Ace and Shelly at this point, they're gonna make it like these two. Whether they're endgame or not in real life, who fucking knows? Yeah. But they clearly are like this toxic couple together that. You know, I think they'll make it to the end. But the thing is, if Nick and Alandra couple up, like they're making it to like the viewers are gonna be voting for Nick and Alandra. Yeah. But just from wanting them this whole season. Right. But I just don't feel like it's at this point very genuine after Nick had just closed off with Sierra.
Right. And that's why I'm also I don't feel like it's genuine from the other Islanders either, which is annoying because I'm like, is this all of them? It's like, hey, let's talk about them being so great together. Because it's like all the other Islanders, it's like, oh, look at them. Finally. Like they're cheering for them at the recoupling. I'm like, what is going on?
Right. And it was
like, why are you they're all friends. Like they were all friends with Sierra, and now they're sitting around the fire pit, and Nick and Alandra are recoupling. They're like, finally, yes, this was meant to be. It's like, wait, what?
Right.
Have you guys all been feeling this way this whole time, and none of you said anything?
Right. It does feel that way. Why didn't they write that in the anonymous mail then? Why was nothing written about Nick and Alandra in the anonymous mail? Because the way that they edited the show, also like Ace and Amaya being like, today's a great day, and it was like, and the way that they cut it was like, wait, they're so happy right now.
Nick did a heel click when he like walked over to her.
Yeah, like, she picked him. He went like,
yeah, like they were like, you know, and if that's the case,
I don't know.
If that's the case, I wish we saw more of that. Like if it is genuine and the Islanders wanted them together and they've been wanting to be together, I wish it was shown. I know people said it was shown. I don't think we saw it enough. Like I would like to be shown a little bit more that they're supposed to be together. Because,
and it's like then they must have been talking about it more too, because of course none of them saw their date. We saw it as viewers. Like they thought they were kicked off the island. You know, so. Those moments that they had, just the two of them, we saw it, and then it's like, okay, did they just bury that as deep as they could because of Taylor, because of Sierra? I don't know.
They must have, I guess.
They must have, but I also just feel like I'm just not fully buying this narrative that they're trying to sell, because it just feels like it's really like the 180 is too much for me as a viewer to be like, oh, we're going from Nick and Sierra closed off to, oh my God, Nick and Alandra are long lost lovers that are finally getting together and the stars have aligned all in the span of one episode. Yeah. Like I can't really buy into that completely. So I don't know. I mean, I felt so bad for Iris when they sent TJ home. I felt like she got the short end of the stick there. I didn't really get Sierra any of their votes. That was the weirdest voting ever. The boys were like, let me just go stand behind some of the girls that don't have any votes. And Sierra, like, Iris should have been way more pissed, I think. I don't know why she wasn't.
But also, Sierra could have stood behind TJ and Taylor still would have been saved. He still had more. So it's like, just go stand with your so-called best friend in the villa to show some support. And then she was like, I knew Nick would be upset.
Nick's a grown man.
First of all,
he would have been okay for 8 more days
and
if
also,
Taylor had left.
Let me tell you, Nick, I don't know if he really cares about your feelings that much.
Yeah.
So you caring about his, I felt so bad for Iris because Iris seems like such a sweet, genuine, normal girl. And I think she doesn't get as much screen time because she is so normal. Yeah. But she seems so chill, cool, normal. I'm rooting for her. Pepe, I don't know. Pepe, I thought he loved Hannah. He wasn't feeling Grayson. Now he's with Iris, but I'm kind of rooting for Iris and Pepe. I'm like, you know what? They do have this friendship.
Yes.
Which is more believable to
100%
me.
I was going to say this.
Because we've seen their friendship, especially even Pepe hugging Iris after TJ was sent home. I was like, oh, maybe like there's something here. And it seems like maybe there is, which I am buying into.
No, I believe that 10 times more than the Nick and Alandria stuff because I just feel like because there is this sort of unspoken rule of like bombshells coming in together and they kind of explore other people, but it's never like they never really look at each other. And for Iris and Pepe, that was kind of the case. But I think there was always little things of like, oh, you know, like I always thought he was attractive, or and the way Pepe talks about Iris is in like such a sweet and like, you know, she's such a badass girl, like all these things where I'm like, okay, maybe there could be something, although it does feel like still very friend level for them right now, but you never know. I mean, they made up that entire challenge just to get them to kiss. Like, I think they put together that entire stupid crashing out challenge that was like, I'm like, what? I fast forwarded through. I was like, just show me who everyone kisses, because that's really the only reason why they're doing this. I'm like, why do I have to watch run through a door, get sprayed, all this? And I'm sure like the Islanders need some
stimulation,
some fun every once, like something fun or funny, but really, you know that the only reason they're doing is because it's like, oh, now pick somebody to kiss, so that they have to kiss them.
This season got not fun real fast. After the male challenge, it was like, ooh, this guy wild and this guy mean, and I don't even think there's any genuine friendships going on besides maybe Alandra and Shelly and Ace and Taylor and Nick. Like, I don't know, but
I really hope that Brian has his feelings are genuine too, because it did seem like after America's Vote was revealed, some of these guys were like, oh, let me talk to Amaya's, because like she's like they've read like
everyone did.
The 180
even Huda started talking to her.
Yeah, the 180 that Zach had was so crazy. Like, he was being such a dick. And then he finds out that Amaya's all of America loves Amaya, and he's like, let me talk to Amaya again. You know, she said she's such a strong personality. Like, please forgive me.
When he was like, I didn't want to kiss you.
That desperado attempt from Zach was
bad. That was so desperate from Zach. I know.
And then him being like, I found out. What do you mean you found out? He goes, I found out I still have feelings for you.
Yeah, sure.
What do you mean you found out you still have feelings for her? Well, you found out America liked her the most and said, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot. Yep. When Amaya said to him, you're just a weird individual, I loved that so much. I was like, you know what? Some people need to hear that. Like, you're just a fucking weird individual and I don't want to speak to you anymore, because whatever your nonsense you're pulling on me, I don't like it anymore. And then I was like, no, Amaya, don't give him another shot. Do not give Zach another shot. He saw what he needed to see and was like, you know what? Boom, I'm going for Amaya. They were all treating her like dicks before they found out how America felt about her, which was fucking ridiculous. And I hope Brian, I hope his feelings are genuine. You know, last week I was like, who's Brian? You know? Who's Grayson? Like, I was like, who are these people? I don't even know what's going on.
I know.
But Austin and Jaden got dumped.
Yeah.
We saw that happen. And Jaden, another one. I was like, is she on the show? Like, there were so many people.
They had too many people going there for a while.
There were so many people in that villa at one point.
Yeah.
The heart rate challenge, we didn't even talk about that. Why did they change it this year? The heart rate challenge is always to see if the person you're coupled up with's heart gets raised the most for you or somebody else.
Yeah.
Doing it as a couple, just confused everybody.
Yeah,
They were pulling everybody.
I think there was too many people.
There was so many people. Everybody was kissing everybody. It's hard to keep up.
Yeah.
Apparently, Huda was riding somebody's face. Ace's face. They were saying TikTok was like, oh, she must have rid his face. That's why they didn't show it. I'm like, they'll show anything. If Huda backed it up and sat on Ace's face, they're gonna show that.
I don't know.
You don't think? I think she backed it up on him and bounced. But I think if she sat on his face, I think they would have shown it because they're showing everything.
It might have just gone on for a while and they just...
Yeah, they were like, all right, we saw what we needed to see. She bounced on it. She turned around and that was it. But like, because Shelley was, obviously very upset with what happened there. But people were like, she must have sat on Ace's face. I was like, listen, they're showing so much that I think if she sat on his face, they would have shown it. Because then it would have... And I feel like Shelley would have said she sat on his face.
Right.
Like she was like, oh, it went on longer. They were making out for a long time. We were already done. But Shelley was never like she... I can't say the word sat on his face one more time. But, I feel like she would have said that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not quite sure. I don't know. There's been a lot of interesting choices and things that it appears to have been shown and not. There's a clip going viral on TikTok right now that's Alandria's in an interview, and you can hear someone screaming.
Yeah,
in
like
the
you
background.
can't do this or something.
And everyone's like, "That's Sierra screaming because they're taking her out of the villa."
I saw people saying it was either Sierra or Amaya.
Right.
Amaya being like, you can't do this because it sounds like no, we don't want to do that.
Right.
But who knows? I think people are.
No,
we
you
don't
have
know
no
who
clue.
it is.
Someone's yelling. It's
somebody's yelling in the background.
Yeah.
But did you also notice?
I would just love to be like what goes on because the whole thing is just so insane now. Because it's like where they pull Sarah out. What do they do?
Right.
Imagine
what do
being
they
that producer who has to like.
But it's like, what are they like? Do they say, "Oh, here's your phone back. Good luck." Like it's like I don't like.
Right.
What she said and wrote is so wrong and not okay. And I think like putting that in a like writing it down and sharing it is so crazy to me. And like not realizing or not whatever whatever she says, whatever explanation she gives on why she didn't think it was bad and whatnot, but like this show and the fan bases and the fans are so everything is just heightened so much. So yes, absolutely everything she said was wrong. And, there are consequences to your actions. And Love Island has set that precedent now where it's like if they see that you have done something like this, like they will yank you.
Yeah.
And, but it's like they were put on this show now. So it's also at the same time as like you gave them this platform to be on this show. And now that's taken from her. And if you just toss her back into the real world with everything that's being said and shared, that's really scary too, because it's like the death threats, the crazy would say
her family
people say
posted
about her family
being like, listen, we know that this was wrong, and like our daughter, we know that like she'll take accountability, and she's our little girl, but she's also a woman, and whatnot, like acknowledging that it was wrong, but then also being like, our family's being threatened.
Right. I think they were just really trying to be like, give her a chance to maybe address it or talk, whatever path she chooses at this point. But when you are kind of just taken out in this way, and I saw a girl on TikTok really kind of explaining it in a way that made a lot of sense to me too, because it's like she was like, in no way, like everything that Sierra said is wrong, 100%, like period. The way that we watch these reality shows now and we take these regular people, normal people, and they go on these shows, their platform, like their fame rises so much, and they're loved. And then the second that there's a crack or something happens, the internet is like, well, was waiting for this because look at what she said here. And and then it's like they have all these the screenshots, these things. It's like, well, somebody was just sitting on this and waiting to share it or post it at this point at this time in the show. Because, you know, it's like, it just depends on when people see things. People found that clip of Ulissa was right away when she was cast. So, and you know, this post from Sierra, it's not recent enough, but it's, you know, when the season started, whoever had that screenshot had it.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy like this, the way the cycle of just the internet works of like, well, this person now, like, let's absolutely destroy them. And these things come out and it's like, it's just crazy.
Especially being removed from the villa, like when you were so separated from the world.
Yeah.
And then you get put back into the world and now this is your world.
Right.
You know, like I wonder what is put into place when she leaves. Like,
exactly.
Do they just...
Because someone has to be like, look, like you have to explain it. And it's like, hey, this, you really like...
Yeah.
This is a fuck up. Like,
you fucked up.
You fucked up. You cannot... This is something you cannot say, and we cannot have you on our show any longer knowing that this is something that you have shared publicly.
Right.
But now it's like, okay, well, what, you know,
and then
toss her? I don't...
Right, and then
crazy.
how do you balance that? Because obviously that needs to be said.
Yeah.
And then with the... But now you're receiving all these threats.
Yeah.
And you were on the show. How do we guide you from that?
Right.
You know?
Right.
So it is a...
It is,
They're probably... Production... And, you know, Ariana Madix got to be exhausted.
Yeah, they've had their fucking hands full this season, for sure.
This cast.
Yeah.
It's been a wild ride.
Just since we're, you know, talking about it, but these they get their social media back too, like Austin getting back on TikTok doing that AMA on his Instagram stories.
Wild.
And you know, he's getting asked about his social media usage from the past, and obviously that had come out at the beginning of the show as well, that they were like, oh, Austin is reposting these things and liking these things, and the response that he had was just, it's crazy. Was crazy to me the way that it's.
And he's like yelling at the screen. You know what I mean? He's like, "Are you dumb?
Are you dumb? How could you possibly think that? I have a black woman tattooed on me." Okay.
Yeah, like right, like okay, that's just
we didn't know.
I'm so sorry. We didn't know.
We take it back.
Yeah, that clears it up.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I mean,
I should have looked at your tattoo, then I would have known. Obviously,
right? No,
you're a man of tolerance.
It's just crazy. We knew when that man got his phone back, it was going to be wild.
No,
because he doesn't give a shit. Like
no,
he's just it's mayhem.
Yeah, and it's like we said, there's only a week left. I'm
exhausted. Who else is exhausted from the show?
It has been exhausting.
Exhausting.
It's exhausting.
I saw somebody post like, I keep putting this show on knowing that by the end of it, I'm so mad every single time I go to bed. Like they're like, you put the show on knowing you're going to be annoyed.
Yeah.
But you have to watch it. Like you can't not watch what's happening.
I was watching on the plane and I'm like, I have my iPad on my tray table and I'm like writing a fucking essay onto my Instagram stories. Joe's looking at me. He's like, are you all right? And I was like, this fucking show. I can't believe it. I just can't believe what I'm watching and the moves that they're making. And there's just so many... I don't know, so many questions. And I don't even know how much press they're going to let these people do at the end of this, because I think it's going to get really messy. I don't know what they're going to be allowed to say. People are going to want answers. They're going to want to know what happened when they pulled Sierra. They're going to want to know what happened. Was anyone told anything?
It's wild. And then sometimes they are like, you can't ask that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, you know, I guess we'll find out when we do some interviews. But
that's what I'm saying. Well, it's like,
we might, just to be aware, we might not be able to ask certain things. So,
I know.
You know.
I voted for Iris and Pepe.
So did I. So. I didn't even watch the episode and I went on and voted for Iris and Pepe. I was like, I don't know what's happening because I wasn't caught up yet, but I'm voting for these two. Because
at this point, just like give me the two that.
Give me the bare minimum.
Like who seem like sweet, genuine individuals. I don't care if they stand up there in the finale and they say, you know what? I think we're just really great friends. I think I'm still voting for them.
And then it's Friendship Island, like the premise I always wanted. Just two great friends up there. Yeah. And we're like, boom,
I know.
They won. How did we go?
Maya and Brian, I'll take that too.
Yeah.
But I'm so skeptical on like
right.
Anybody that comes in late and can watch the previous episodes and kind of has a sense of what like was being, what was happening. I always get like a little like, are their intentions pure? And especially after Amaya won like, it was so clear to everybody that Amaya had America's heart that I'm like, okay. I have an eyebrow raised.
I feel that sort of way about Chris with Huda.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm like, I hope it's genuine.
Right.
But is he trying to be the like, I'm I'm gonna be the one who
I tamed the beast.
Yeah. Like I swept her off her feet and I treated her right.
Yeah,
and
right,
Jeremiah treated her wrong.
Every time she speaks, she is throwing shade at Jeremiah. It's crazy. Like after last night, she was just like, he's a real man, which I haven't had. Like, and it's just she just can't help
Jeremiah's
herself.
on TikTok doing book reviews.
Yeah, that's
let the man
just
be.
Leave him alone.
It's just Huda lives in Huda's world. She does. Even after that challenge, you said to Chris, I thought some of the guys would kiss me. Chris was like, why?
Yeah.
Chris was like, why would you think that? Like, have the guys been showing interest in you that I like didn't know about?
Yeah. How did we go from having 3 couples from last year who are still in love and I think very well might get married?
Yeah, right.
To this where there's not one genuine couple in my mind that like are gonna make it after this show. Like they're all going their separate ways.
They all have been together for like a week when the show's over.
If you want to go back to, if you want to enjoy some, check out this season of UK is good.
Yes, I gotta catch up.
And you know what? I almost started clapping at my iPad when I was watching it because I'm on like episode 22 or something. But they had a vote, and they put the least voted for people in the front of the Islanders. And then he said, and you know what? 2 Islanders are going home tonight, and it's up to the public.
Yeah.
And I said, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Nicely done.
You know what? We could have learned a little something from this, where it's like every once in a while, just let the viewers dump somebody.
Right. Just let us do it. I was going to watch yesterday on the plane. I chose to watch America's Sweethearts, the DCC on Netflix instead because I was like, my goodness gracious, my brain needs a break from Love Island. I can't sit here and watch 10 hours.
No, I know. I went
straight. I have to take a break. So
I went back to UK. Joe was like, there's more? I was like, I was like, I'm behind on UK.
Yeah, took a little break there. Also, they're playing this season like it's Survivor. Like they're like, Amaya's the only one who could save us.
Yeah.
Look, we have to all talk with our alliances. I'm like, what?
I know. I texted you guys and I said, I remember a time when if someone didn't have a connection, they'd self-eliminate. They say, you know what, guys, I don't have anybody in here for me, and I think it's time that I leave. That happened.
It did
often.
It did.
And we've lost that.
People left with the people before. I'm like, are they not letting them? Like, I don't know.
I need to know if Nick wanted to go with Sierra.
I need the answer to that because, like Noah said, if he wasn't told what happened, right? Like, because if he was told what happened and he decided, like I want to separate myself from that and then stay, But if he's not told, and they just say it's personal reasons, and that could mean anything.
Yeah.
Personal situations, personal reasons could be anything, could be family, could be anything.
Right.
And he's like, I'm just going to stay.
I'm going to ride it out.
I'm going to ride this out. Yeah. Something could be happening with her family. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to couple up with Landry, like Noah said before. Like that, you know what I'm saying? Like if he was not told, then he just didn't. I think he straight up just didn't really like her because even watching their conversations, though, I said this last week. Like she was like, "So am I your dream girl?" And he was like, Like he couldn't answer. Like he couldn't. Yeah. There was no passion.
I am seeing a lot of fan edits.
Did you see the clip of After Sun when he was like, "Maybe I'll like suck your toes," and she was like, "Don't do that." And then in the challenge, he went and sucked the Landry's toes.
Yeah.
Because he was like, "Well, I'm gonna go for the toes I really want. Then if I can't suck yours, I'm gonna suck Landry's toes."
Oh my god!
Like what?
Yeah,
like,
I know.
I'm just so confused.
I know. No, I have so many questions because I'm also like, do they tell the Islanders, hey, like really, like Sierra's gone, don't talk about her now because
the way that he was talking about it made me think that because when he goes like,
no, 100% save it to Landria.
Why not just say Sierra? Like he's like avoiding saying her name.
Yeah, Landria just said that was doing the same thing, and I was like, you guys are close friends. Like,
right? She was acting like she was her close friend, and now she's like, well, she's gone.
Yeah, it's like they're all mad at
so
Huda for not being
what happened.
They're all mad at Huda for not being a girl's girl, but like Sierra's gone.
Right?
For
if they don't
6 hours, and she's like, well, let me go talk to her man.
Yeah, like if they don't know what happened and they just think she left for personal reasons, they're like, well, she's gone.
Yeah.
But it was crazy though when Sierra was asked about the Hannah situation and gave the worst answer of all time of why Hannah was sent home. Well, she already had 2 strong connections.
Yeah.
What do you mean? That's the point of the show. So you mean Hannah was doing the show right? And Hannah was doing the show so right, we had to send her home.
But it really does feel like that's how it's been though. Like it's literally been.
I'm so confused at what fucking show they think they're a part of.
Same with Iris and TJ. It's like they were going so well, and everyone was like, "No, we're not going to save. We're not going to save.
We're not going to save TJ.
We're not going to save TJ."
They're not saving anybody's connections.
This was such a funny tweet. This season of Love Island is actually insane. The moment you find love, you get assassinated.
It's so true. They're like, boom. You're out of here.
Like, shit, you got out.
And it seems like
you're not exploring enough. Get out.
No, but and then even with 1 week left,
there's 1 week. It's a disaster. I mean, what are they going to talk about on their final dates? None of these people want to hang out in the real world.
I don't even want to fucking watch the final. Skip. I'm not hearing your poems.
No, because that's
your
the
fake
end. It's
poems.
like the last week is like they go on these beautiful dates and like talk about their feelings and like what feelings.
I don't know. I just started blanking out because I'm like, what the fuck is up with this season?
I know. Well,
production's gotta be.
We flew way too close to the fucking sun last season, unfortunately. You know, they couldn't, it's just, we got a perfect season and it just turned to shit.
But also the viewership has just gone up an insane amount. That
it's
become like
it's
so insane. Like it's like, oh my God, it's taking over everything.
I saw multiple people on my flight catch you up on episodes. Like when I would get up to go to the bathroom from my seat, I was like looking at people's screens. I saw like 8 different people watching Love Island. So
I was talking with Emma and Julie last night, and I was like, listen, I'm not going to bring it up to you guys that this is your first season. I won't. Like, because I've reached the point where I'm like, yeah, we've watched all the seasons, including UK and Australia. Welcome newbies. Yeah. You get a little snobby when you've been watching. You feel like
I'm like Apollo. I'm like, it's not always like this.
Yeah, well, we've been saying to Trent, we're like, Trent.
Like, it's not always like this.
It's not always this insane, but
no, I mean, I guess it's people also being like, I had to give up on the show because every episode actually made me angry. Like, no, I don't blame you.
Yeah, it is something else.
So I don't know. We'll see how they attempt to wrap this one up.
The families are coming this week. The families are coming to Fiji.
Are they actually going to Fiji?
In person.
Yes,
in person.
The families are coming to Fiji.
They're not just video calling.
No, the families. In this season, the families are coming. You couldn't get Odell Beckham in the island last season, but this season you're bringing in the families when no one likes each other. They're bringing in their families.
Oh, no.
Nick's parents after celebrating.
Yeah, Nick's parents were celebrating on camera about him pairing up with Olandria.
But that's what's also so tough. And it's like all these parents have been watching the show. They see all the discussions and then they like can't talk to their own kid about what's going on in
they can't.
In the real world.
They will get the sign language of like what people think about them.
Crazy.
You know, can they I'm sure they get their phones taken away so they can't even like type something and show it to them.
No. But
it's wild.
Wow. Yeah.
The family's coming. Should have been stopped. They should have stopped their flights.
Like prison, like they're coming to visit their kids. Like they have an allotted amount of time, and then they're like, "All right, you're out."
But they did that on UK.
No, I know.
They would do it all the time.
They would do
it was natural because there was connections.
No, and it was like a beautiful thing. You would literally cry watching these parents.
Right? You're like, "Oh, that's so sweet." They're meeting. Who's meeting whose parent?
Yeah, I know.
Oh God,
there's not even like what are your intentions? They're like, I don't know. I've known her for a couple days.
Yeah, and here's my talking stage. Guy.
Yeah.
Imagine introducing your parents to somebody in the talking stage.
Right.
You're like, we hooked up.
Not even talking. It's like Iris and Pepe have been together for like a couple of days.
Like literally,
I know.
They've kissed once. They're like, here, he may be potentially
in a forced challenge.
Yeah. God. Wow. Look at the stance that I have right now. I'm like, what? Like.
No, it really took a turn.
Yeah, it did. We shall see what happens the rest of this season. Moving on, because I mean, who even cares about anything else but right now?
Yeah.
But I guess, we do a little bit. I actually found this to be very interesting. Jennette McCurdy is making her book, I'm Glad My Mom Died, about her life, into a TV show starring Jennifer Aniston is playing Jennette McCurdy's mom.
Amazing.
Absolutely love this.
This is a fantastic choice all around. It is.
I love that this is being made into a show.
Yep.
So we can visualize how Jennette McCurdy felt about her mom and growing up and child star and all of that. And then having Jennifer Aniston. play her mom.
Yep.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
It's going to be so good. Apple TV, right? Yeah, Apple TV. And obviously Jennette McCurdy very involved in the whole show and process and everything, which is also going to be great because I think she will really be able to continue to tell that story in the way that she wants to tell it. You bring in a person like Jennifer Aniston, fantastic actress, and obviously a huge name to put on the show. It'll be very interesting. It's just going to be, I think it's going to be fascinating to watch the whole thing play out on a show that is going to be based off the book, but of course then you're seeing those early, you're gonna have to bring in a young girl to play her and the whole Nickelodeon thing and the show and everything. It's just, I think it's gonna be such a good show.
So good. And it's gonna be so realistic because Jennette McCurdy is making, like,
yeah, exactly.
She has so much say in what happens in the show. So we're gonna see some like real life visuals of how Jennette McCurdy felt about her mom, which I'm very interested in because her whole story is, you know, I remember when she released that book and releasing a book of that title being like, I'm glad my mom died. People were like, whoa. But then they read the context of the book and they were like, oh shit, this is what she dealt with and this is how she felt. And, you know, getting those feelings out there is very interesting to see that. And Jennifer Aniston, Apple TV, you know, morning show. I feel like it felt like it was just, it went hand in hand. You know, she was like, I want to be a part of this.
Is she also an executive producer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so, I feel like Jennifer Aniston doesn't join anything without getting an EP credit.
Right. She's like,
give me that credit, you know? Yeah. So that will be really, really good and interesting. Dancing with the Stars announces 2 new cast members, 2 new stars joining the show. We got Whitney and Jen from Mormon Wives. Now,
double Mormon whammy.
Yeah. In our interview with Ezra, Fran had mentioned, you said Whitney would be good because Ezra asked us who we'd want to see. We said some Mormon Wives. You said Whitney, which was spot on. It was announced only like a week after we did that interview, and I think it's so classic that the Mormon Wives, and I think it's even more classic they put 2 on because they know the competition between these Mormon Wives. They were like, we got to put fucking 2 Mormon Wives on this show to see these 2 cat fight.
Yeah. I think it's also so clear if you just think about the behind the scenes aspect of it, right? It's ABC, it's Hulu, and they're all own, you know, it's all the same parent company, and I think like the cross promotion is there and makes a lot of sense that they would want the Mormon Wives on Dancing with the Stars. If they are going to go with any reality stars, it's like, oh, well, they'll pick from their own universe. So that does make a lot of sense to me. They did announce this all also in the reunion, which I haven't watched. Literally the only 2 seconds I think either of us had time. We were like, well, we gotta watch Love Island. So I have not watched that, but I watched a clip of them announcing it, and you know, they did it in a way of like, okay, someone's on Dancing with the Stars next season, and they kind of just sold it as one person, and they announced Jen, and then kind of like waited a second, and then it was like, and actually there's one more. So Whitney's going to be amazing. I think she is good. I think she's gonna be great. I think Jen is going to be great too. Kudos to Jen, man. Holy shit.
Wow.
She literally just had a baby. Like just had a baby. When you're watching the announcement of like her, they're like, hey, you're going to be on Dancing with the Stars. She is very pregnant. So she just had a baby. She's already making TikToks, like, you know, me on the ballroom floor. Zach's in the background holding the newborn.
She literally is making TikToks from the hospital where she just had a child, being like, I'm gonna be on Dancing with the Stars.
I know.
I'm like, wait, what a turnaround.
Yeah. And they start practicing in, I don't know, a month, 6 weeks.
No,
like,
that's what it's gonna be right when she gets cleared to like do activity. Then she's gonna be doing the most activity.
Truly good for you, girl. Like, that is so impressive.
It really is.
So it's going to be, like you said, it's going to be great. There's obviously going to be a lot of inner conversation about it. It'll probably cause drama for the actual show, for Mormon Wives, the show too, is, you know, if there's who comes to visit the ballroom, who's rooting for who.
Oh, who's posting about, is everyone posting each week?
Are they posting for both?
And who are they voting for? Are they splitting their votes? 5 votes each?
Are they? Exactly.
It's going to be drama, and I'm sure they'll film too. They'll pick back up those cameras. Yeah. A little behind the scenes.
Yeah. It'll be very good. Very, very good. Also now I feel like I could see Ezra with either of these girls too, you know? So.
Could be.
Yeah, could be.
That'll be very exciting. It's going to be a good season of Dancing with the Stars.
It is.
Last topic, a little roundup of Glastonbury was happening and celebrities on
People
vacation.
were out and about, man.
They were all over the place, out on vacation.
Mostly on yachts.
Yes, they were. Kendall, Kylie, and that whole group were right next to me. They were at a beach club that was right next to the beach club I was at on the same day.
Damn.
Literally right next to each other. And we were going to go to that one. And we chose it. And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
I could have seen them in the wild. I could have seen Kylie holding the Birkin on her head in the wild. Like, that could have been me taking that picture. But then,
girls, I got you over here. I got
you guys want me to take pictures of you?
Yeah.
I got it. I wouldn't have said shit. I would have been too nervous. I would have been way too nervous to say anything. I would have been like Love Island. You guys want to talk about Love Island? Because they've been posting about Love Island.
Nonstop.
But they were there. Then you had Kate Hudson, Dakota Johnson. They were in Italy, and Ricky Martin showed up at their table, and then they were in Ibiza, and then Tom Brady joined them on the yacht. Yeah. Their yachts all over the place.
Katy Perry's on a yacht. Orlando Bloom's. It's Tate
McRae was on a yacht in San Tropez, and her bodyguard was all up in her ass, and people were like, "What was that about?"
Yeah.
And then I saw people being like, he was blocking paparazzi from getting pictures of her ass.
Yeah.
But then I was like, that seemed like bodyguard was
what a hero.
Yeah. It was like he was.
Yeah.
It was very close comfort. Like people were like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You know, but then they were like, he's just doing his job, and I was like,
no, for sure.
That's a.
Do you know that Kaya Gerber and Lewis Pullman have been dating?
Yes, I saw those pictures.
Yeah,
Kaya
I saw
Gerber,
those pictures.
Always with a new.
She loves an actor. She loves an actor.
Yeah, she's always dating a new.
She loves an actor. I thought he was like way older than he is. I had to Google it because I was like, how old is this guy? But he's only 32.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I was like, he's got to be like 40, but he's not. That was wrong by me. But yeah, no, I had lots of festivals, performances, lot going on in London, these big performances. Saw Gracie Abrams and Paul Mescal canoodling.
There was a lot of
at the shows as well.
There were a lot of shows at Hyde Park. And then there were Glastonbury was going on. So just like a lot in England, a lot of shows going on in England as a whole. I was watching Glastonbury live on the telly.
Yeah.
Because they were streaming it live in London.
Yep.
And I was watching Noah Khan, and I was like, wow, what a great singer.
Yeah.
And then I listened to Stick Season about 1 million times, and I said, it's going to be really awkward when my Spotify Wrap comes out and my #1 song is Stick Season 3 years later. 3 years after it came out. I was like, wow, have I never heard
what
this
a song, huh?
How have I never heard this song? Like, I listened to it so many times in the past week.
Yeah.
Matt knows all the words. He sings it so beautifully. Not even
you guys
kidding.
There was Northern Attitude in the rotation?
Not yet.
Oh, put it in.
That's
a good one.
I'm not joking. There was a point where I was playing it on the boat and Matt was singing. I full on started crying. I was like, you sound so beautiful. And this song is so beautiful. Like, it was, you guys are laughing, but he sounded so good. I was like, you just have.
I'm sure he did.
He did.
Let's bring him back in here.
Whatever. It's fine. He did sound really good though, and the song is so good. I'm like,
it's a great song.
It's a great song.
I shed a tear watching Lewis Capaldi come out and sing with him.
It's gorgeous.
God, I had a moment too where I said it at the table because I watched like the TikTok of Lewis Capaldi from one of his past shows. You know, the last time he did Glastonbury, I think it was 2023, and he has Tourette's, and you know you could see the tics when he was on stage, and he's taken a step back from just making music in the public and kind of like just taking some time to himself. And it was the edit of like the 2023 and then him walking out in 2025 and the crowd going crazy. I'm singing. I literally was like, I was so moved by it. I love him. And I was like showing everyone at the table at lunch and everyone was like, cool.
Yeah, good.
Like, when everyone's like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
For him, I'm like, guys, is this so beautiful? I love Lewis Capaldi. I think he is so fucking funny and talented. And when he came out, he was wearing his little fake Noah Khan wig with the braids.
So good.
And he did the yell. He did the whole thing. He sounded amazing. You know who was also on just perpetual vacation this week too was Dua Lipa, who no one vacations like Dua Lipa.
Dua Lipa stayed at the same hotel that I stayed at for my honeymoon in Day of Mallorca.
In Mallorca?
La Residencia.
Oh my gosh. Well, that also was another one.
And so did Nino Dobrev and Shaun White.
Everybody.
They were all staying at the hotel. I said, oh my God, we just missed each other.
I was laughing because
No, but you're right though. Nobody vacations like Dua Lipa.
Oh my God, like Dua. I wish I was on vacation.
Did
with
you see somebody? I think Dua Lipa said this, or where she was just like, "I make my work look like a holiday," which I was like, you know what? Fair.
Yeah.
Like, what is she working on right now?
Well, she's not working right now. She's on holiday.
Not. She is on holiday, but she was like, "I'm good at making my work look like a holiday."
I saw a tweet of someone with, I think it was Pink. What's her name? Pink Panthers.
Yeah.
Was saying, I think she's on Jake Shane's podcast, that she like has never been on a holiday, and someone like retweeted it, was like, have her call Dua Lipa.
Set something up.
But no, it was so funny because literally like there's this picture that Dua Lipa posted of her. It's a selfie of her and Callum Turner, and Callum is wearing the exact same outfit that Joe was wearing on vacation. Like when I tell you, it's the same shirt.
Really?
It's the exact same shirt. And I was like, oh my God, Joe, we are the Walmart version of Dua and Callum Turner. Literally, like, so look at this picture. Mm-hmm. So this was them.
Yeah.
Just a little selfie, you know, she's got her sunglasses up. He's in this little like green knit top. And then this was Joe and I the first night of our vacation.
Oh my God. Wow.
Same shirt.
It is.
Same picture, really.
That is the same picture. That is so funny.
I was cracking up. I was like, oh my God. And the way everyone was like, calm down. Like, I was like, they're wearing the same shirt. I'm like, which I felt good about because I picked out the shirt.
Yeah, it's so exciting though, you know, and you're like, oh my God, we're just like them.
I know.
But
Stars
not really.
are just like us on their, enjoying their vacation. But they were off, and then there's the Harry Styles clip of him at Glastonbury.
Yeah, he was
kissing some music producer.
He was smooching.
Some people just have all the luck.
Yeah, he was smooching.
You know, he must really be feeling himself in those situations, because like I can't imagine what it feels like to be a celebrity at that level where you go to a festival like that, like, you know, all eyes are on you at all times, and you just be like, fuck it, I'm feeling the moment, let's make out. Love it for him. Yeah. I also saw this clip of him trying to parallel park someone's car in Italy. He couldn't do it.
Oh God, there's nothing worse than when a man can't parallel park.
Yeah, it was tough.
Oh my God, it's when Matt can't do the parallel park, I'm like, you want me to do it? And then he gets it, because he's like, what kind of comment? I'm like, you want to switch? I'm like, you want me to do it? Because I'm such a good parallel parker.
Yeah,
like, I'm not saying I'm a good driver, but when it comes to parallel parking,
you got it.
This girl can parallel park.
Love it.
So I was like, you need me to do it?
Yeah, this one, I don't know what the truth of this really was, but this one viral of Harry, it says Harry Styles tried to help a fan parallel park in Rome, but couldn't park it either. Which is also just so funny. It was like, someone was just driving their car and Harry Styles like knocked on the window and was like, let me get a shot at it.
I would have lost all lust for Harry Styles if you had to watch that. If he knocked and was like, let me parallel park a car, and then couldn't do it, I'd be like, ooh. Tough.
Yeah, for sure. But he looked like he was having a grand old time at the festival, for sure.
Yeah, everybody was having a good time.
Yeah, some beautiful performances. Like I was saying, like it really, like you said, Noah Khan. You seen Gracie Abrams was also playing one.
Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah, like, did Sabrina Carpenter went to the show? Was that real?
She did. Yeah.
Sometimes I see things and I'm like, is this real? I don't. But then I don't care. Then I don't check. You know, I saw the picture and it was like Sabrina Carpenter at Olivia Rodrigo's show.
You know what song I'm really enjoying lately too? It has nothing to do with any of these people, but it reminded me because it was like in rotation with
Talking Music
with the Noah Khan one. No, Another Love by Tom Odell. He's like, I don't even know who he is.
I don't know this. I don't think I know the song you're talking about.
100%. You've heard it. Fuck, I'm not singing it well.
Tom Odell.
He is an English singer songwriter.
Okay. Another Love.
Oh my God, this song came out in 2013.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
Wait.
Heavy in your rotation right now.
Wait. What? Are you kidding?
You thought it was a new song?
1,000% I thought it was a new song.
Where'd you hear it first?
In the car, on the radio.
Yeah.
And I've heard it before though, and I was like, ooh, and I literally wrote it down. I saw it I wrote Stick Season, Noah Khan, Another Love, Tom Odell. Yeah. And what? This song came out in 2000.
Wait, can you just play a second of it for me? We'll cut this out of the podcast because we
Yeah.
can't. We can't. Sorry to everyone
Another
listening, but you
love.
guys can't hear the song or else we'll get sued. Wow, if I had to guess, I would have said like 2022 that song.
I
came
would have
out.
said 2025.
Yeah.
I thought that song came
I
out
do
this
think
year.
that song gets maybe remixed a lot. Like I think like it's
Does it?
Yeah, I feel like I've heard it in other.
Another love.
Yeah, like I've heard it in like DJ sets before.
It's so good.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's
that
a great
came-
song.
I mean, I can't believe that came out of the.
2013.
Where's Tom Odell now? I mean,
Is he out of business?
I heard it in the car and I thought, good song.
Yeah.
Write this down.
Yeah.
And I played it over
Well,
and
good. That'll
over
probably
again.
make your top list as
My
well.
list.
Yeah.
So Stick Season and Another Love will be.
It'll be like Maria Chifo's at the top 0.0001% of
of
Tom
people who
Odell's.
listen to this song
We're
because
just gonna be like, have you heard this song, "Hey Jude"? But I think it's the Beatles. Have you heard of them?
whatever, it was in the rotation.
Oh man, that's like when I've told this story and I've told it to you guys too. But that's like my friend Lauren when the Beyonce album came out and she was like, "Blackbird, beautiful song." I was like, Lauren, what?
I remember that.
Like I was like, that is not a Beyonce original.
Oh my God. It's another one on mine, Hold the Line, Toto, which obviously I know is
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
on whatever.
Yep.
But that was in the rotation as well.
What a night for everybody that went to Oasis, huh?
Oh
Saw
yeah.
Robbie
Like
and
I
him.
Talking
can't
to Robbie
say
about
like
that.
I listened to a lot of Oasis or like know a lot about Oasis, but watching the videos, I was like, damn, this concert looks sick.
Yeah, I was talking to Robbie about it. He said it was insane.
Yeah. I just had Champagne Supernova stuck in my head for like the last 3 days after and then Joe, like, cause Joe kept watching the videos too. And we're like, damn. And we're like, Champagne Supernova.
Yeah,
And
you
it
guys sing it like that. That was good.
You have to sing it like that.
You have to.
Somewhere you will find me.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
You're hitting it.
Thank you.
It must have been really hot though the first couple days. Because,
Yeah.
Oh, and the people camping out. And
Right.
It was,
Sweltering.
It was crazy hot.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep.
So
Yep.
they must have, the people camped out. Shout out to them because
Yep.
they probably were not expecting that because they're in England. And they're like, oh, it's going to be so refreshing.
For
Whether
sure.
it's going to be a little chill, little rain maybe. No, none
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
None of that. All right. Well, that wraps up the topics.
Yes, it does.
All right, everyone, we are here with a very special guest. We are joined by Ezra Sosa from Dancing with the Stars, and also you probably know him from TikTok.
Yeah. Just do a quick move.
I'm like, oh, showing the reason why I'm here.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's up?
Yes.
No, love it. I'm so excited that you're here. I live for Dancing with the Stars.
Thank you. I honestly love seeing you guys during the season.
It's my favorite thing. I love talking about it. I've been talking about it for years on this show. So seeing how popular it has become, like in this just resurgence, it feels like with the younger generation, it's so exciting.
Yeah.
I love it because it's like now it has a whole new life, and I think they brought in obviously some new pros that have made that feel that way. I think you are obviously one of them. I know.
Me?
Yes, we're talking about you.
What was it like getting that call that you made like the official pro cast?
Honestly, like I was not expecting it at all. And for some reason, like going into the new season, I thought for sure I wasn't going to be there at all. Because the previous season, I wasn't asked back.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, we're definitely not going to be there again. So I was basically like planned my life as if I wasn't going back. So when I got the call, like, I feel like even the casting director thought, like, are you okay? It's like, is everything fine? And I just remember feeling like, I cannot believe this is happening. And it was in that moment I knew my life changed forever.
Oh, that is unbelievable. I mean, you did get paired up with an interesting partner, and I think everybody, was talking about that and very interested. And now going into this next season, are you hoping for, a change of course in partners?
I mean, one could hope. God, like, jeez. Well, yes, I think for sure. Dancing with Anna brought out a different side of me, and like I think even just being her partner, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be shits and gigs. Like we're in this for the gag of it all. But I mean, I'm really hoping next season I have a partner that can really just show my ability. Because I even feel like too, like people on TikTok, like I forget he can dance. I'm like, yo, bro, like that's how I got the gig. Like that's how I'm in the room. Like
when you say that Anna brought out a different side of you, what do you mean by that?
I mean, I think it brought out a different side out of any pro of Dancing with the Stars history. I think it was the first time you had someone who was controversial, and the pro really just embraced that. And I feel like in the past, people who had controversial people, like they would support them, but they really wouldn't lean into like who they were.
Yeah.
So I mean, I thought the only way around it was through.
Exactly.
You know? No,
was she
absolutely.
exactly what it seemed?
Yes. In the best way. I'm like, so I'm actually seeing her, I think tomorrow night. I can't remember when. So excited to see her because you know when you're around those people who are just characters?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Like every single time I'm around her, I'm like, girl, you don't exist.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you are not real.
Right, and you know it's a story. Like you know you're leaving there with a good story. It's a good night no matter what.
Yeah. 100%.
That is so true. I don't know if you watched Love Island or tuned into what's been going on, but there's a couple that I felt like I'm like, you're not a real person. Like you are, it's just, and it's so fascinating to talk to them and hear their story and like learn all about them. And when we were watching, and I think it was such a good it's crazy, but I think it was a good first partner because it's like you kind of lock yourself into that conversation. Like she'll be remembered always as a dancer as a star on the show, you know? So I think that's always so great. But what was your first connection to Dancing with the Stars? Because I know people are in the troupe and then there's all these other things. Like what was the first intro to the show?
Well, even like for me, it was when I was a kid watching it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the pros on the show like came from my same dance studio. So as a kid, like growing up, you just wanted to be on the show one day.
Yeah.
And I also feel like when you have people that you grew up dancing with also make the show, I feel like makes that dream just a little bit more real. You're like, if they can do it, so can I. Like that kind of aspect. So
is that like what the dance studio is selling out in Utah, like posters on the wall being like,
girl,
you too can be on,
you know, our
a pro on
faces are
Dancing with the
blasted
Stars.
up in there. Honestly, some of the most random things are up on that studio. I know it's kind of crazy
like
too.
moms with like their young kids are walking by and they're like, I will be set. My
Yes.
kid will be a pro.
My
on
You
Dancing with the
keep at
Stars.
this. Yeah.
No, like they need to be filmed and studied by the government. I freaking
It's like
love
Dance
it.
Moms.
Yes, no, 100%. But we're just like a little bit more like, I don't know, like cuntier. I don't know.
Right. Of course.
Like,
I mean,
they're a little bit like more pulled up. I don't know what else to say.
So you watched it growing up and loved it. Who were your favorite pros that you watched then?
I mean, I think no matter what, like Derek and Mark are just like OG. And I think it's really cool just getting to share a floor with them. Like the ballroom floor, like for me, the fact that they dance there and I get to dance there is such an honor. Just because growing up watching them, like I really hoped that someday as a pro, I could like really change, like not even change the show, but like just really like make a difference with their art. And that's what I really loved about them. Like they always like push the envelope, and like one day I really hoped like I can make the same impact as well.
No, that's so true. And you will, because it's like there are those, you just had those memorable dances that they have in those moments that always are just written in the Dancing with the Stars history books, I feel like. So no, that is so true. And I love watching them too. And I feel like once they give you that partner,
We're just waiting for that moment.
I know. Well, look, we're already hardcore campaigning for it because we know we have 2 announcements already for who's going to be in the next cast, and Alix Earle is one of them.
What are your thoughts on that? How do you guys feel about
we're
that?
so excited.
I am so excited for it. And I think you and Alix Earle will be an amazing partnership.
Hey, I agree.
It would be a power
agree.
duo too with TikTok and everything. And I feel like when we heard that announcement, everyone was like, all right, Ezra, because
there's a lot of similarities there.
Yes.
Totally.
100%.
There's so much
And
you can
there's
connect
certain
on.
people-
Similar ages.
Yeah.
The whole thing. I just think it
certain
makes
people
so
that you
much sense.
don't want her paired up with as well. Gleb. Like we were watching and we when we heard that announcement, we were like, let's go in a different direction here.
No, but honestly, Glove would eat too. Like, let's be real. Like, he would eat it up.
Yes, but it's like we
There's a certain image I think that's sold sometimes, like just and people have different styles of dancing, and that's 100%.
And I feel
but it's people have their favorites, so they push for. So I see some people who are like, oh, Alix and Alex and Val, like Alex and Alan. But I think you two would be amazing.
Hey, I honestly,
Yeah.
you're like preaching to the choir. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
freaking love that.
And everybody already has been watching, like, this younger generation is so much more into it because of TikTok. Imagine you two together. Like, it would be even more eyeballs on it. Have the pros, because we saw so many TikToks this past season.
So
many.
So many
Were you
TikToks.
like kind of an influence for other pros to start making it?
I mean, honestly, I think it started with Riley, like in her season. Like, she really blew up when she became a pro, and like, I really think it helped us all realize the impact that TikTok has in general. For me, I'm just like chronically online, so it's just natural for me just to post all the time. And so I really do feel like the pros like kind of clocked in on that and just like noticed a huge audience of Dancing with the Stars is now on TikTok. And so they really just want to cater to the people who watch the show. So it only makes sense for them to really like start tapping into it right now.
I love it. It's like the audience now has the widest range from like super young kids all the way to like 80-something-year-olds.
It's really
like
cool.
It's actually so cool to see.
It's just the best too, because I feel like it's just flipped on its head. Really, it's years ago it would be like, oh, the demographic's much older. It's like the show your mom watches, the whole thing. And now they're like, now I think because of, like you said, everybody on TikTok, it's like now such a younger group, and they're voting. They're making their voices heard.
It's insane.
They influence the show. You mentioned Riley. How long you and Riley have known each other for forever, right?
For a very long time.
Yeah.
Ever since, I mean, how old? I was like 8, 7 since I've known her.
Wow.
So a
I
really
remember
long
since
time.
she was like a little kid too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's very interesting, our dynamic, because growing up she was always like that little sister, and I really feel like it came from like someone who like I looked as little sister to colleague, and like it's really cool seeing her step into her own light as a pro, because let's be real, doing that when you're 18 is so incredibly hard. So for me, not only I'm just like so proud of her and how much she's accomplished, but just when you know how good people are, and like her light is just so amazing.
You can tell she is the cutest, and you just root for her. She's actually amazing as well, like so freaking talented. And I think with her season, there was so much talk about with her and her partner, and I feel like she handled it all so well for being her age.
She's a star.
She's
She's a star.
Look at her grow.
Yeah, no, seriously. When do you think you realized you could dance?
Oh, girl, I don't know. I was always like a little queen dancing around my house. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like every single time my mom turned on music, I was just like, oons. Like, I just always like naturally did it. But also, I had like, I mean, I'm like, it's very obvious I have ADHD. Like, I'm very spacey. Like, I'm not like diagnosed by any means, but I feel like it's like pretty obvious. Like, I zone out.
I don't need a diagnosis. I'm aware.
Like, I'm very aware. So I really do feel like my mom kind of saw that I needed an outlet to let out all my emotions, all my sporadic energy, and dance was the perfect outlet for me.
Yeah.
What's your favorite kind of music?
Oh, girl, I always say it's music I can dance to. So I feel like when you're a dancer too, like I think you listen to music a little bit differently than you would like a regular person. Like maybe guys like are really feeling like the vibe of like the lyrics.
Yeah, right. You're listening to the beat.
Yeah, I'm like in that beat, like this is a nice pocket right here.
No, that's so true. I think we do obviously listen to it differently. But so when did you start competitively dancing?
Oh my, I mean, like when I was like
when you
a
were
fetus,
little.
like when you're in that, like you're like, go compete.
Yeah,
So I
what's
just
the
did it.
environment like? Because you
Oh,
grew
it's
up,
so, I mean,
like
honestly,
the dance studio. Because
Yeah.
I grew, watching Dance Moms. Like I was obsessed with Dance Moms. Like, is it like that?
I mean, yes, girl. Yes, that shit crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But also, like, it's kind of like shitty to say, but a part of me is really grateful that I grew up in that environment. I really know how to work in a stressful environment. And, having dance moms all the time is kind of crazy, especially growing up. So now that I'm like working with a convicted felon, I'm like, like I know exactly how to handle the stress. I'm like,
and I'm
yes.
sure it builds thick skin because like you're constantly being told like what to do, and you got these, like you said, dance moms around you, and like being in that stressful environment. I kind of get what you're saying.
Right.
Like, of course, no kid should grow up in that, but also like it kind of builds you into the person you are.
Do you have any crazy stories of like competing and having to deal with maybe someone's parent?
No, but I can tell you like the first time I went to like a ballroom dance nationals and I peed my pants. I can tell you that story. Like that's
I'd actually love to hear that story.
So I was
all the way from the beginning.
I was actually dancing with Riley's sister Brinley. Do you guys know?
Okay, yes.
Brinley? Okay. So we were like, I don't know, like 8, 9, I can't remember. But they had this nationals in Los Angeles. This is my first time at nationals. I was like, yes, like we're gonna eat it up. We're about to go on and we make the final. The final's coming up and I'm like, holy shit, I need to pee. Like really bad. So I remember going up to the girl who's like in charge of us and I was like, I really need to pee. She goes, you're next, you can't. And I don't know why, I just like looked at her and I just ran. I ran straight to the bathroom. And as I'm running, I'm feeling something warm going down my leg.
My God.
And I was like, fuck. So I came back and I'm like, I peed my pants.
Oh my God.
Crying.
Oh
They tried fixing it. Brinley was such a troop. We did the final dance with pee in my pants.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And she was like such a trooper. We like right when we left the floor, she was like, oh, and she was like,
Yeah,
freaking- I,
right.
as you
You're
can
like,
imagine,
after that,
this is
especially at that age too, you're like, oh, gross.
You're like, gross, like that is disgusting. But we got fourth, so like work, you know.
Yeah. And hey, maybe if you didn't pee your pants, could have been higher.
No,
you
I
know?
don't think. Like,
You're like, no,
like genuinely,
no excuses.
I think kind of like the piss helped. Like,
No,
I don't
you're
know.
like, that warmth gave me a little more bounce.
Yeah, I was like, really,
Give me a little more bounce.
really feeling relaxed.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Growing up in Utah, what was that like for you? Because now I think I don't know what, there's like you might laugh at the way I word this right now, but I think there's like a Utah like surge in pop culture right now.
Don't you love it?
Yeah,
I love
like
it.
I think a lot of people realized once a lot of the pros shared more of like their personal lives and all these things, especially online, people were like, wait a second, you all know each other and you're all from Utah? Like, how did we not know this? Because it's not shown as much
No,
if you
it
just watch
isn't,
the
but
show.
there's a huge lore.
Exactly. And then you got Mormon wives, you got the
Right.
whole
Yeah.
thing, and everyone's like, you got Salt Lake City housewives, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
it's like, does everybody know each other?
right. Like, what
Like,
was growing up in
low-key.
Utah kind of like? Because now we have this view of it from these shows.
I mean, obviously, I think growing up in a dance studio, it's very different.
Yeah.
Like, I had, like, no life. I was very committed to dance.
Yes.
So, I really do feel like any of the drama that I had was via dance.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up queer, too, in Utah isn't the most friendly. So, I think that those were, like, more of the challenges I
Yeah.
faced in that community. But I always say when people ask me, like, if I have a hard time going back or if I have a hard relationship with people from there, I'm like, bro, like I grew up there.
Yeah.
Like they're family. And I honestly love Utah so much.
Yeah. And I think that's, like you said, you kind of all really sort of knew each other, were in each other's circles, and you see it now. What was like the first interaction you had with a pro on the show?
Oh my God. I think it would have been like Lindsay or
I was gonna
Whitney.
say have to be one of them.
Yeah, because I mean, I think it was so there was a dance studio called Center Stage. Riley's mom started a dance studio called The Vibe. And it rivaled Center Stage because they left Center Stage.
I love
to
a
start
rival
their,
dance
Oh no,
studio.
honestly, like I'm like a kid like eating this up.
Yeah.
Like, I
Oh my
love this
God,
drama.
that is amazing.
So I left to go to The Vibe when I was like a youngin'. And that's when Lindsay and Whitney were like 16, 17.
Yeah.
That's when we saw them like train, and that's when like Mark would come in with Shirley and Derek would come in and train them, and they would give us lessons too when we were kids. So like I really do feel like the Dancing with the Stars culture, that's like really in Utah, like that's really how it was born. Like when you had them really like starting to rise, and then you're bringing in like Derek and Mark, and they're really seeing us and like how amazing the community is.
That is so interesting. I feel like a lot of people wouldn't know that at all.
No.
Like if you just watch the show and you don't know any background.
No, it's like
stuff.
we all like literally came from the same movements. It's hysterical.
Yeah.
I love it.
I know, that's why it's so fun to watch you all on social now too, because the show, obviously it's Dance with the Stars. Like on the show, they really showcase the stars and their stories and like in their packages and everything. It's kind of like about them. And then I like when we get to learn about you. We actually got a question. We take like fan sent in questions on the show, and someone was asking like, if there was a reality show that you could create right now, like what would you want to watch? And I was like, honestly, I'd want to watch a Dance with the Stars pro reality show. Like film you guys when you're all on tour. See what's all going on behind the scenes.
Oh, you guys.
And I was like, I think that'd be
No, we do.
I think it would be so good.
Yeah.
Because now tour has taken on a whole different life. It feels like. What's it like being on tour?
I mean, this past tour was insane.
Yeah.
I also say, like, going back to what you said about the resurgence in the show, you could really tell with the tour.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first started Dancing with the Stars, I wasn't on tour when I first started the show, but I remember going to see it, and like the audience was like half empty, like, and we were all, I think that was their LA show, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But now it's like we sold out the Dolby 2 nights in a row. Like that in itself is such a feat. It's like so cool. And it was like the biggest dream come true. And you just don't really think the impact and how big it is until you actually go out on tour.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Do you still get those nerves when you're about to go out and perform, especially on tour?
No, because like when you're out on tour, you dance in the crunchiest of times, in the crunchiest of conditions.
Yeah.
But you always just look out in the audience and you see them and you just want to give them a good show.
Yeah. You know, talking about how that would be our dream reality show to watch. Is there drama going on behind the scenes when you're on tour?
Are you kidding? Yeah.
I know. I asked that. I know. It's like I just want to know the drama that's going on.
Yeah, I know. Wouldn't you like to know?
I would love to know.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm just gonna turn it.
I know. And it's also so. I mean, really, the potential of it is unbelievable because if you also think of like the way that tour is structured, where like certain stars come to certain stops, it's like that obviously probably change the vibe of certain shows when you have certain celebrities there.
Does. If you could imagine, like both Steven and Ilona have very like great energy, but then like you also have Chandler who like has like that fresh like she's such like a cool girl too. Like they're all just so different. But I will say like the celebrities this season who came out on the road were just such troopers because really people don't understand how different the way of living is when you're on the road.
Yeah.
And not everyone's down for it. But they all weren't just down for it, Joey included. Like, and they just embraced it too. And I think that really sets the tone with everyone else.
Are you all like, is it full tour bus life?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It's giving like Hannah Montana. Like,
Yeah.
this
Oh my
is
God.
the life. Like,
Wow. And so, I mean, are you guys all separated into different buses? How do you kind of organize, like, who travels together?
We have the baby
Bathroom.
bus and then we have the doggy bus. Baby bus is Nikita's bus. So it's, you got Daniela and Posh, they have the family room in the back with Nikita. Then you have, I think, Pasha's mom, who helped watch Nikita when we were like performing and stuff like that, and Gleb. And then they also had a couple more crew people on that bus. And then you had the doggy bus, and that's Jeff's bus. So that's Alan, Emma, me, Riley, Chandler, like whatever celebrity would come in, they would just rotate in. Emma, Britt, Steven, I'm trying to think, Brandon. I mean, like we were all on that bus.
Yeah.
But like so fun.
I feel like it's so fun, and even if there's like fights or whatever, at the end of the day, you're still having an amazing time after.
Yeah, I mean, I always say like your energy fluctuates so much when you're on the road because you wake up and you're like, where the fuck am I? You're like, what time zone is it? Because you're really like hopping through different time zones. So it's always like you're in just like, I don't even know where I am in this like world right now. And like once you figure that out, you're like trying to like building your energy up because you have to exert the most of your energy at like 7 p.m. So like always up until then, you're just like a little grumpy. But right when that show hits, it's like you hear in the audience, like you feel that adrenaline. And then after we're just like chill on the bus, like we feel like champions. It's the coolest thing ever.
Right. Did you have a favorite celebrity? I know it's really hard, but from this past season.
Oh, you can't make me do that.
Yeah.
Like
can't do that
just
to
a couple.
me.
You could throw out a couple.
This past season, like I'm gonna miss those fuckers.
Yeah.
I am. Honestly, I will say, me and Steven bonded a lot on tour, and he's just such a good guy, and he really goes with the flow.
Yeah.
Such a good team player.
Yeah.
Such like a selfless guy.
Yeah.
I really do love him. He's the best.
He's such a doll.
And I feel like even as viewers, we get attached. But then
you're like,
I know. But then a new group comes in, and we're like,
Yeah.
and we get attached to them.
It's kind of like a fever dream because it's all like the same but different.
Right.
So for
Same
us,
people,
we're just
different
like,
fonts.
like what's happening?
Well, because they do always kind of, casting I feel like always does sort of have a formula, and then they sort of plug different people into it. You know, there's always maybe
You would
somebody with a
clock
little
that.
bit of
You would clock the formula.
controversy.
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh, well,
someone
there's
who's
always a controversial
someone who
person on
needs a
there.
big
Who do
comeback.
you guys think will be on next season? Because not like I know anything, but I
No,
don't
let me
know
tell you,
anything.
I don't know if you have followed any of this at all, but there's such a movement right now for Karen Reed to be on Dancing with the Stars.
That
Would be fucking wild.
That would be wild. Like,
Okay, wait. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say Karen
wait.
Reed, almost not convicted
Not,
murderer.
she was just,
Oh
she was
my
just
god!
she was just freed.
Wait, whoa!
She was just
That would be
freed, but
such a
the way
Dancing
that
with
I was
Stars
like, they
pick.
wouldn't go there, but they would.
Yeah.
Like,
No, but
I
here's
don't
the
know.
you
thing.
had that reaction for sure.
That's such a Dancing with the Stars pick, I feel. But like, if I'm Karen, like, this is the first time she's free in a long time.
No,
like,
it's-
do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
She's
does she
like,
want
I
to
do
be
not want to be in a dance
no,
studio right
Karen
now.
wants to have a
For
drink.
Yeah.
Okay,
She's like, I need a drink and a mimosa.
Karen also for sure wants to be famous. So
Oh, definitely. So it's like probably a little bit of both. That's not a bad. That's
Exactly.
not a bad call.
No, that
when the whole like Julie Chrisley and all that stuff was happening, Anna actually sent me DM.
Oh my god! Oh my
of her.
god! I didn't even think about that. That they're out now too.
Yes, guys, the
Oh, Rhea,
options
your
are
worst
endless for next
nightmare.
season. Are you kidding me?
Your worst.
I know the Chrisleys.
The Chrisley.
Oh God, I feel like. Do you think we're gonna get like more influencer type, like because we have Alix Earle, or do you think we're gonna kind of like go all over the map because we have like the influencer?
I will say, I really do feel like the show does a really good job at finding a cast that really reflects the times that we are in, like currently.
sure.
And as you can imagine, like the idea of celebrity has changed than what it was like back in the day. So I think for sure next season you'll see a reflection. Of
Oh,
that.
And
I
it's different
keep seeing
because
rumors about,
because people stars want like there's people that are now dying to go on the show. Like I've seen interviews of folks that are like, "Oh, I was offered Dancing with the Stars 5-6 years ago, and I turned it down because I thought that was the end of my like that's a show shows that it's the end."
No,
and
but
now
it's
that
popping
those
off.
same people
Yeah.
are probably fighting to be on the
So
show.
actually, like I will say this, last season they were having a hard time finding celebrities to do the show. In this season, I mean, like
No,
they're not.
they're not
No,
having.
they're not.
Everybody's knocking the door
I
down.
saw a rumor about Ciara from Summer
Yeah,
House
she would be
joining, who I
amazing.
think would be
Yes,
amazing, and
I
I
also
think
saw
you
that.
would be great partners with Ciara as well. That I would be so excited if
Yeah.
Ciara was on. That's
Yeah,
just
I feel
one I
like
keep
there's a
seeing
lot of people
constantly.
that were from like on Traders that would be really good.
Who do you
on
guys want to see?
Dancing with the Stars?
Like Dreamcast. I love this game.
Ooh. Oh, what we talked about this recently, and I named
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
so random that I was
Look,
like, wow, that's so.
We just did a show with Dolores from Real Housewives of New Jersey. She was like, I would fucking die to be on Dance with the Stars.
Yeah,
And, like,
Dolores would be so
she would
funny.
be amazing. Like honestly, there's so many people from Bravo that would be good. And I think like after how great like Ariana was and everybody, like it's that's that. But then I don't know. Then there's like there's always the older like. Somebody that was on like a hit 80s, 90s sitcom.
Yeah, we love
that's
those.
Make,
I love
and
those
I always
picks.
love them. I always
Always,
love them.
oh
you
my
know?
God, I was so sad last
No,
time.
I know. He was so
Wait,
cute.
why?
Like you're talking about who's with Emma?
Oh, Reggie.
Yes.
You guys, he went to see tour. He went to see the tour.
Oh,
And we do a part in the
see?
tour where like
They always pick.
she
a cute
talks
old
about
man.
like how to be a pro, and she's like, if anything, like resort to props. She goes, when I had Reggie, we resorted, and he was in the audience, so we stood up, and his team shined flashlights on him, and the whole audience was like,
That's
like,
amazing.
we love this man. I love this man.
Why do I feel like Boston? I'm not rooting for Boston Rob to be on, but I feel like Boston Rob because he's been on like every reality show lately that they would like maybe ask him to be on Dancing with the Stars.
No, definitely.
I'm just thinking like lately with the amount of reality TV that's been on, and then taking those people.
It's interesting too because I just think reality TV has a resurgence in general. Like like if you really think about it, a lot of reality shows are popping off right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's constant.
Yeah.
We love it because it's
We
our life.
love
I could see
because
some
that is my
potential-
job.
No, literally.
Yeah, let's go.
we
I could
all
see
we
some
want is
pot-
reality TV.
Yeah.
Maybe not this next season, but if they keep moving the way that they're moving, I could see some of the girls from Mormon Wives, a little ABC Hulu crossover. You know, they love to keep.
Who would
it
you
in-
guys want to
they
see
love
from the
keep it in
Mormon Wives?
fam.
Because the crazy part about it is like, if you really think about it, like any of them can do it.
Yeah, I know.
Like any of them
I
could.
think like Whitney obviously like I feel like is constantly dancing on TikTok.
Yeah, and
doing
she
those
can
things.
dance,
And she
too.
can
That's-
So like I feel like she could be good, but I mean I'm Taylor's probably
Taylor
the
would
one
be like
everybody-
She would
feel
eat it
like-
up too.
Yeah, I think Taylor's probably. The
I
one
also just
everybody wanna
I
see.
loved watching her on the show too.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's always be drama that goes her way too. She get paired with some like super hot pro and like
Right.
and then she'd be great for like, oh my god, what's going on?
One of the
What's
Mormon
going
wives
on in
is
the back?
such a good call. I
Yeah.
feel like that's
Yeah.
bound to
Yeah.
happen.
It's
That's like a
yeah.
really good call.
Yeah.
Throw her with Gleb. Who knows?
Who knows what would happen? Lord knows.
Right.
Who knows what could
They
happen?
ain't ready,
Can we
kids.
handle another season with Gleb and a?
No, we can and we will.
I was just like, look, I was the one who handled it the most, and I can do it again.
Yes, I need something to talk about.
know.
Like,
Right.
people don't understand.
I mean, there's what we were all talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's so much lore behind like the relationships and whether it's pro and star or within the pros now. But I feel like you've always had such a funny outlook on it where the commenters always look to you for your commentary on anything, whether it's
Right.
pro or star, whether it's like, was it Gleb and Brooks or is it, some of the pros? Like they're always like, get Ezra on the case.
You click the comment section, top comment, where's
Always.
Ezra? And then you're like, I'm here.
As you can imagine, like, during the season 2, I'm like, oh my god, like this is getting crazy. But it's like, it's so fun because for me, like, I always just feel like a fan at heart because I've watched the show when I was a kid too. So the fact that like I get to live it, it's just so much more exciting for me, like, to comment about it because I actually like know the shit, but I know the shit from an outside perspective, so it's really
No, it's like,
interesting.
where were you when that video dropped of Brooks and Gleb kissing backstage?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that was like, that was a moment. Like
I
everybody
mean, I was like watching it happen.
yeah, you're
so
like, I was there.
I was like, I was like saying, I was like, oh, this is gonna, this is gonna go viral.
You're like, I got my TikTok ready because people are gonna be screaming.
I'm
at me
like,
in the
Riley, where are
comments.
you?
Did at any point did you feel like a pressure to get the tea for everybody because they were like really pushing you?
Yeah, but like I'm like at your own pace.
Right. You're like,
It's
I'll
like
do what
I have the
want.
tea, but I'll tell you when it's ready.
Right, you're like, I'm busy.
Like, girl, I'm busy. Like, I'm actually a dancer.
Yeah, you're like, you forget, I have a job.
like, I have work.
yeah.
Yes, exactly. No, I mean we're so excited to continue watching and watching.
I can't
you this-
wait. It's like you
this
don't want the
next
summer to
season.
end, but
I
then you're like,
know.
oh, well, the fall comes around and it's Dance
I
with the Stars
know.
time.
I know.
It's
Exactly.
interesting because like we call this like off season. Like all of us are just like doing nothing all day. Being like we're just waiting for next season. But I'm just so excited for next
Yes.
season.
Well, we can't
can't
wait. We'll
wait.
be watching, obviously, and until
Yes.
then, we'll be campaigning for you to be paired with Alix Earle. I don't know if That's how I feel.
I'll have my team start making flyers.
Yep,
and
yep,
Right,
yep.
start-
We'll-
exactly.
we'll-
We'll do it. We'll put
Will
posters up.
canvas.
Great.
Yep. At 100%. We're telling everybody. So.
Yes, exactly.
Ezra, thank you so much
Yeah,
for joining
thank you
us.
so
guys.
much.
That was so fun. Oh, you guys.
You got to
are-
come back during the season, or we'll come find you.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. We'll
I'll
come
be
to
like,
LA.
I'll like open my door, like, hey guys.
We'll come to LA.
We're gonna come there.
We will find you, and I will love it. Thanks, guys.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Amazing. All right, that wraps up today's episode of Chicks in the Office. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We are officially back, and we're happy to be back, and hope you guys are happy to hear from us. We'll be talking more about, Love Island this week, and then that'll be it, guys. So hold on tight.
Seriously, we only got. We'll get through this, guys. We only got one more week.
All together, we'll get through
Yeah.
this together. All right, love you guys.
Yeah, Chicks in the Office, long-time listener, first-time caller. Look at the charts, who does it the best? 2 chicks getting paid in reality checks. You can find them at the gym, it's not even a flex. Last minute red carpet, flew them out on a jet. Yeah, they're who you wanna be, they're always on your screen. 2 queens and they might be spilling royalty. A lot of topics that are popping here to get into. I know a show that you probably wanna listen to. Turn the heat up, turn the beat up. Record the pod, made a bag, put their feet up. The ones that leave no crumbs when they clean up. Who's the pod that they all wanna meet up? Who turned the heat up, turn the beat up. Record the pod, made a bag, put their feet up. The ones that leave no crumbs when they clean up. Who's the pod that they all wanna meet up?